Stadium in Irving, Texas. It's the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys. Hello, everybody. I'm Lindsey Nelson with Paul Hornung here in Texas. And, Paul, the Detroit Lions are 3-3. When they've played well, they've done it lots of the time with two tight ends.
They sure have. They haven't won a game all year long on the road, Lindsey. And really, when they played good offensively, those two guys have been in there at the same time. Charlie Sanders and David Hill, both their tight ends. I think you're going to see a lot of that today. They hope to run the football and cut down on the mistakes.
And quarterbacking the Lions, the number 2 ranked passer in the conference.
And he's had a good year, Lindsey. He's been sacked 25 times, and that's a problem with the Detroit Lion offense. They haven't given him actually enough time. He's having a fine year. He's ranked number 2 behind Roger.
The Dallas Cowboys, of course, at times have had an awesome defense, anchored by a couple of pretty good safeties.
Boy, they sure are. You could talk a lot about a lot of guys on defense, but those two guys right there, Charlie Waters and Cliff Harris. Cliff Harris leads the league in interceptions with 4 of the NFC, and they really come up and stick you.
And the field general, Roger Staubach.
What are you going to say about him? Staubach right now, in my mind, is the best quarterback in professional football, period. He's the leader of this club. He holds them together. He knows what he's doing.
Lions and the Cowboys. So now let's take a look at the field. Dallas Cowboys will be kicking off. The Lions won the toss, elected to receive, and so it'll be a Fran Herrera doing the kicking off. Rick Kane is back there center deep to receive the kickoff for the Detroit Lions. Kane is moving up, and it is dropped instead by Eddie Payton, and Eddie Payton picked it up and advanced it. Eddie Payton, the brother of Walter Payton of the Chicago Bears, who was added recently to the Lions. A Detroit backfield. Wide receivers and tight end. Offensive line for Detroit. Detroit, 1st and 10. They have the ball at their own 30-yard line. Artificial turf here at Texas Stadium. Horace King is the lone setback. They're in the slot right and the wing left. Greg Landry dropping back. Going long to the wing back, and it is incomplete. Intended for Leonard Thompson, the wing back. 2nd and 10. There are the linebackers for Dallas. D.D. Lewis, however, is out, and Mike Hagman is in there.
D.D. Lewis has a virus, Lindsey, and he's dressed for the game, I believe. But Mike Hagman, 2-year man from Tennessee State, starting in that right cornerback spot for the Cowboys.
2nd down and 10 yards to go at the 30-yard line. Horace King is a lone setback. They have a double tight end in there now. It's David Hill and Charlie Sanders.
There's your double tight end situation we were talking about at the top.
Horace King carries it for 5 yards to the 35, where it'll be 3rd down and 5. Cliff Harris, free safety, up to make the stop for the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas now employing a couple extra defensive backs. There's your offensive lineman for the Cowboys. Defensive lineman, and that's a good one. Harvey Martin, and here comes Harvey. 3rd and 5, and these two defensive ends, Ed Too Tall Jones-Lins and Harvey Martin. They can almost chant, "Here comes Harvey."
Horace King is the lone setback. Landry's dropping back. And it's incomplete. Intended for Jarvis. So it'll be the punting unit coming on now.
They not only double-teamed Harvey Martin on the left side, Lindsey. Jim Yarborough, who has a slight shoulder injury, they double-teamed him. They triple-teamed him on the left side on that passing situation.
Wilbur Summers has averaged 36.6. He has a bad ankle, but it's his left ankle, and he'll be kicking to Butch Johnson back to receive it for the Dallas Cowboys.
And that's the cause of that punt, too, Lindsey.
Out of bounds at the 40-yard line. The Cowboys get excellent field position. 1st and 10 at their 40 on the 25-yard punt.
And let's take up a little for Wilbur Summers. Lindsey said he's got a bad left ankle. You saw how quickly he had to get rid of the punt. Not that he was rushed, but he is not a two-step kicker. He only took 2 steps. He didn't get the timing, and the ball went off the side of his foot.
Now the Dallas offensive backfield and the wide receivers and tight end for the Cowboys, and the offensive line for Dallas. 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line. Roger Staubach brings them up. Robert Newhouse, the lone setback here. Preston Pearson evens up with him. They do a lot of motion in the backfield. Newhouse to the 45 for 5 before Ed O'Neill, the middle linebacker, made the stop for the Detroit Lions. It's going to be 2nd and 5. The defensive front four for Detroit. And the linebackers. And the secondary. 2nd down and 5. Dorsett's in the backfield now. Tony Dorsett is in, and Preston Pearson has come off for the Dallas Cowboys.
I think this is the earliest that Tom Landry has seen fit to put Dorsett in the ball game.
Dorsett's on the tail of the tandem. He's got the ball, but he's pulled out, and quickly by Lem Barney. Lem Barney playing the right corner here this afternoon.
He read the keys very well that time. Lem Barney's playing the right corner. Usually he's a safety man, but Walt Williams is not playing that right corner. Look at Barney come up with the big play. He's been a big play back all his life. Lindsey, he's a good tackler, good hard-nosed football player. He will come up with the big play, whether it's punt return. He's been a valuable guy for Detroit for so many years.
3rd down and 9 to go. Charlie West, strong safety, didn't make the trip, and Reggie Pinckney is the starting strong safety. Dick Giron is the free safety for the Detroit Lions. 3rd down and 9 yards to go. Shotgun formation, and Roger Staubach has the ball. He guns it. It is complete. Preston Pearson, he has a 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line of the Detroit Lions.
He loves to go to Preston Pearson. Just had him in the slot, double wing. He went down, did a little square out. Let's see if we can pick it up. There he is. He's the 3rd man in from the top of your screen. Watch Staubach. Here comes a square out pattern, the 22nd catch for Preston Pearson. He's a fine receiver. He's finally pulled down. There's an injury on the far side of the field. 1st down, Cowboys.
James Hunter is injured on the play. He is the left corner for the Detroit Lions, so this is an injury timeout.
Boy, they're still talking down here in Dallas about Tony Dorsett. They love him down here. And I think you're going to see him more and more as the season gets on, Lindsey. He's headed for Rookie of the Year honors, no question about that.
We have no score in the ball game. 12 minutes, 17 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter. James Hunter still getting attention, and he is up now and coming off the field under his own power. Left cornerback for the Detroit Lions racing off the field. Walt Williams has replaced him at the corner now, number 21.
It's good to see that he's all right, because Charlie West had a instep strain late in the week, did not make the trip. So they're hurting it at defensive backs if someone goes down with an injury.
This is Newhouse straight ahead to the 40-yard line. He picked up 3 yards on the play to make it 2nd down and 7 for the Cowboys. Herb Orvis made the tackle for the Detroit Lions.
Here's Newhouse straight ahead, zone blocking up front, and Newhouse just finds a little daylight. 78 Doug English makes the stop for Detroit. Picked up 3.
Butch Johnson is coming to the ball game now. At a wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. Drew Pearson goes right. Johnson comes left. Roger Staubach, the quarterback. Preston Pearson evens up with Newhouse. Newhouse moves over. Staubach's got it. Screen right. Preston Pearson. 35. 31-yard line. 1st down and 10 yards to go for the Dallas Cowboys on a screen right to Preston Pearson. Reggie Pinckney made the stop.
Watch this screen. What a beautiful setup. Bootleg screen right. Look at the lineman block for a 2.5 seconds. Just released to the right. Preston Pearson, he's got everybody out front. The guards in the center, Fitzgerald. 1st down, Cowboys. They look good.
Cowboys 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Golden Richards far to the right side. Into an I formation. Motion across. Newhouse to the 29-yard line for 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Doug English in to make the tackle for the Detroit Lions. Hunter comes right back into the ball game, and Walt Williams is coming off at corner. That's left corner for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, that short punt has given the Cowboys a little momentum here in the 1st quarter. Of course, Detroit has had problems with their punting game. This is Wilbur Summers, the 5th punter they used this year.
Preston Pearson to the 24-yard line. Picked up 5 to make it 3rd and 3. Ken Sanders came in to make the stop. In the air so far this year, Roger Staubach is 99 for 166, 59.6%, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. He is the #1 ranked passer in the National Football Conference.
6-0. The best start in Dallas history was 68 and 69 when they were 6-0. Of course, they could break a club record today with the win over Detroit.
Golden Richards left and Drew Pearson right. Preston Pearson and Newhouse. Staubach on a 3rd and 3. Gonna run it. He's got the first down, and he hits the deck at the 19-yard line.
He's safe at 3rd. Safe at 3rd. Roger Staubach. All the quarterbacks will do that today. You don't want to lose that young man. Later on during the year, when they get into the playoffs, you'll see Staubach go for that extra yard, but not now. Here it is. See Pearson coming out of the backfield. They flood the left side. Roger sees a little daylight on the right. Now watch the slide into 3rd base. First down.
No score, but the Cowboys are driving with 8 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the first quarter. They're in a slot left. Preston Pearson in the right set. Newhouse gets the football.
Look at that.
Turns the corner. 15, 10, and near the 8-yard line. Dick Duran finally stopped him.
Now watch Newhouse look at him and go back and congratulate his lineman right there. Powerhouse football right here. Rafferty pulls on the left side. Look at Preston Pearson's block. He's got the linebacker 4 yards downfield. And Newhouse does the rest. Another first down, Dallas. Picked up 11.
First down and goal to go Dallas at the Detroit Lions 8-yard line.
There's a powerhouse on the sidelines, too, here in Dallas.
Pearson's in the tailback. Preston Pearson. Push back outside the 6-yard line. Ken Sanders, Herb Orvis met him there. 2nd down and goal to go outside the 6. 7 minutes, 45 seconds remaining to be played in the first quarter. Texas Stadium and a sellout crowd is here.
In fact, all the home games here in Dallas are now sold out. They love a winner, as does everyone in the National Football League.
Game time temperature is 76 degrees, humidity 59%. 40% chance of rain during the afternoon. Pearson to the tailback. Newhouse the up back. Newhouse inside the 5. It'll be 3rd down and goal just inside the 5. Charlie Weaver upset him.
It's a good thing Weaver got low on Newhouse, then he would have scored. Newhouse shaking that right fist. Good cut then. He cut back real good to the inside. Pretty good blocking up front. That offensive line for Dallas is really doing the job here in this series. 4 first downs. They've got a 3rd down situation here.
Butch Johnson goes out to a wide right. Newhouse moves over. Staubach putting it up to Drew Pearson, incomplete.
Oh, he was wide open, too, in the end zone. Roger would love to have that one back.
It'll be 4th down coming up now, and Efren Herrera comes in.
Look at that guy. He's something else. Caught more passes by a wide receiver. #1 in the league.
27.
27 passes. Roger would like to have that pass back. He beat the cornerback over there, Barney, I think it was, on a square out.
Herrera now in to attempt the field goal. He's 12 for 18 in that department. PATs, he's 16 for 17. Missed one last week against the Eagles. His first after 82 consecutive points after. Boots this one up. 21-yard field goal, and it's good.
Just like an extra point.
21-yarder is good. And so the Dallas Cowboys have taken the ball from the front, driven steadily downfield, and they're on the scoreboard. Cowboys 3 and the Detroit Lions nothing. Efren Herrera will kick off now for the Dallas Cowboys. And Rick Kane is dropped back center deep to field it for the Detroit Lions. Cowboys came in with a record of 6-0, equaling the best start they've ever had. In 1968 and 69, they went 6-0, lost in the playoffs each year. Trying this afternoon to make it 7-0, which would be the best start they have ever had. Chuck Eberling, the referee. That was his whistle. Herrera coming forward. Rick Kane at the 7-yard line. He's at the 10. He's at the 15. Rick Kane to the 20, 25, and up to the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. One setback. King gets the ball. Tries for 4 to the 34-yard line, making it 2nd down and 6 yards to go. Jethro Pugh made the tackle along with Ed Jones.
This information from the Cowboy bench. D.D. Lewis is suffering from the virus and playing in his position, number 58, Mike Hickman.
Jarvis comes out to a wide right. They had Horace King back there as a lone setback most of the time so far. Greg Landry, the quarterback, number 2 ranked in the conference among the passers. King got a yard to the 35-yard line, making it 3rd and 5.
The handoff again was to Horace King.
As the first period score, Cleveland 13, Kansas City nothing. A couple field goals by Don Cockcroft.
3rd down and 5 coming here for the Detroit Lions. Landry calling the next play. Landry is 91 for 154. He has completed 59.1%, 5 touchdowns and 1 interception.
Loves to go to Horace King, who leads the league in receiving. The NFC.
And now a delay of game. That'll cost him 5 yards. That ball is marked ready for play. You have 30 seconds to get it in action, and if you don't, it costs you 5.
Yeah, those are the kind of stupid mistakes that your coaches just hate, Lindsey. That's just almost a wasted down, a wasted 5 yards. Uncalled for.
Delay of the game. Offense.
That's going to make it 3rd down and 10 yards to go with the ball at the 30.
What it also does, it gives Harvey Martin again, I'll say it, and Randy White in that front 4 just time to tee off if they go back, if they drop back.
And again,
legal procedure.
a procedure. And Landry is walking over toward the sideline for some purpose. He wants something, and he gets it, whatever it is he wants.
Forward, the other way, boys. It's a little stickum. A little substance they throw on the field to the quarterback. It's just a lot of your quarterbacks, especially your receivers, will use what they have stickum. That's a legal procedure against Detroit. It cost them 5. Landry, I think, uses alcohol on his hands to get the grip better.
3rd down and 15 yards to go at the 25-yard line.
There's that unique setup, Linz, with the 2 tight ends, both blocking.
Landry back to throw. And incomplete. He's trying to get it to Jarvis, but almost an interception on that corner.
I tell you, they only sent out 2 receivers. Both the flankers were the only 2 receivers downfield. Now watch this. Got plenty of time to throw the football because everybody's double-teamed. You see Randy White there double-teamed. Gregory was double-teamed. They kept both tight ends in the block, but that lets the Dallas defense double cover everybody. See, they had him short and long. No chance.
Wilbur Summers back in deep punt formation. Butch Johnson deep to receive it. High spiraling pitch. Johnson is waiting at the 32. Runs laterally to the left. Turns up to the 35. Around to the 40. Johnson to the 45 and out of bounds. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. A 43-yard punt. So again, the Cowboys get it, and they get it in very excellent field position. 1st and 10 at their own 45, and they're leading by a score of 3-0. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited. 1st and 10 for Dallas. They have the ball at their own 45-yard line. Preston Pearson shifts into the tailback in the I formation. Roger Staubach, the quarterback, has the ball. Trying to get it to Golden Richards. Making the move was James Hunter, defensively incomplete.
Had all the time in the world to throw it. Here's some quick scores. Cleveland now leads Kansas City 23-0 second quarter. 3 field goals by Cockcroft. Chicago over Green Bay 6-0. A 4-yard run by Johnny Musso. The extra point was missed. And Philadelphia and Washington are going at it. Washington 17, Philadelphia 10. Theismann has thrown 2 touchdown passes to Gene Fugit. L.A. and New Orleans, Linz. Look at this. New Orleans 3, Los Angeles nothing. First quarter, 23-yard field goal by Zorro.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Dallas leading here by a score of 3-0 in the first quarter. Delay. Preston Pearson, 50 to the Detroit 47-yard line. Gain of 8 yards on the play. We'll make it 3rd down and 2. Reggie Pinckney up from strong safety to make the stop.
Oh, a good move by Preston Pearson on the cut. Minnesota-Atlanta tied up. Touchdown pass targeted and won by Scott Hunter. 7 apiece, second quarter. And Jets and New England are tied up second quarter, 10 apiece.
Jay Saldi is coming to the ball game now. Had a block kick last week against the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia, the one that was picked up by Charlie Waters and run in 17 yards for a go-ahead touchdown. 3rd down, 2 yards to go. That's Pearson moving back, Newhouse moving over. And a wing right. Pearson. Got the first down. 1st and 10 at the 44.
You saw one of the reasons why Tom Landry is elected to go with Preston Pearson. Experience. He knows the offense. He knows these blockers. Just came with a rollout draw, made a good cut for about 6. Now he goes for the first down around the right side.
Here in Dallas, they figured that Preston Pearson is one of the most valuable free agent pickups ever made.
Maybe the best, Linz.
Absolutely. He has worked right into the Dallas scheme of things, and it's 1st and 10 at the Detroit 44-yard line.
You know, Pearson's handled the ball over 85 times, and he's only had 1 fumble this year.
He's got it now. And he's inside the 40-yard line. Picked up 4 yards to make it 2nd and 6. James Hunter made the stop.
Ooh, they just cut Paul Newmoff down. They double-teamed him. Golden Richards and Robert Newhouse on the block, enabling Pearson to get to the outside. Picked up about 4, huh?
For today's game for Dallas, the inactive players are Rayfield Wright and Glenn Carano. And for Detroit, the inactives are Charlie West and Gary Danielson. 45-man squads, of course, and 2 players are designated inactive for each game, making the squad limit 43. Now it's Preston Pearson going to the tailback. And he's got the ball, but this time he is pulled down by Charlie Weaver, the linebacker from Southern Cal.
Ooh, quick reaction that time by the right linebacker, number 59, Charlie Weaver. He's got 1 interception on the year. Watch off to the left side. We got Newhouse there, but Weaver was just a little bit too quick, got too much penetration. Newhouse just wasn't ready for the block. Pearson getting up very slowly.
An injury timeout. Preston Pearson is the man on 1 knee.
That'll bring Dorsett into the ball game.
He's already out there, Dorsett.
It's tough for me to remember Dorsett. I'll tell you that right now, because Lindsay and I worked about 5 games. We watched Tony play in college when he was Tony Dorsett. There he is. And he's had a great year. He scored 5 touchdowns. That's tied for the league lead. He's got 385 yards rushing. That's the best of any rookie in the league. Ranked 5th.
Preston Pearson getting a hand as he goes off. Newhouse has gone off also. Scott Laidlaw has come in with Dorsett. A new set of running backs. And that's the thing about this Dallas club. They are very deep in fine running backs.
You know what impresses me more than anything? Tom Landry has just maneuvered this club in such a beautiful position. 24 out of the 43 guys are suited up. We mentioned it last week, are playing with 3 years or less experience in the league. So it looks as if the Cowboys are going to be a powerhouse for years to come.
3rd down play coming here, and they shift into the shotgun.
You'll be introducing Staubach as the first 52-year-old quarterback, maybe, huh?
Staubach. Golden, or rather to Tony Dorsett, incomplete. Dorsett, incomplete.
Beautiful pass right there. Tony could have had it right through his fingertips.
That'll make it 4th and 7. And so Danny White, the punter, has come on. He's averaged 39.6 yards per kick. He is a direction punter. Gets a high trajectory and gets that ball usually over close to the sideline so that run backs against him have been few. Eddie Payton is back there with Dick Giron. Payton and Giron are deep to receive it for the Detroit Lions. Well, he moves up, changes his mind, and now punts it. It's going to be back there in the end zone. Touchback, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line, a 41-yard punt.
Very smart by Danny White there. He saw a little daylight around the right side. It's a good thing one of those linebackers, a flag down. and it's going to go against Dallas, probably ineligible.
It is. Violation of the
field, right?
Violation of the kick coverage rule. Only the outside man can go before the ball is kicked.
Illegal man downfield on the punt. Offense, number 58. Refused. First down.
They want the ball at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10.
Imagine. I tell you, Danny White there just saw a little daylight there, and that's very smart of a punter. Many occasions you'll pick up that first down. He saw a little daylight around the right side. It could have gone for the first down.
Danny White, of course, was a college quarterback at Arizona State. He has many talents. The Detroit Lions have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They send Ray Jarvis forward to the right side. Horace King is the lone setback for Greg Landry, the quarterback. Horace King moves out for 2 yards to the 22, making it 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Ed Jones and Jethro Pugh.
There it is. There's Harvey Martin, big number 79, stands Yarborough straight up, and that's his job. Just picked up maybe 1.5 yards. Randy White's got to be underneath there somewhere. He usually is.
2nd down and 8 yards to go. Horace King, the lone setback. Wide receivers left and right.
They're not going to beat Dallas doing that.
Landry.
Blitz.
Offside. Does he ever pop?
That was a blitz. On the outside, on the right side, number 58. That's Mike Hegman, who is substituting for D.D. Lewis. Now watch. There goes Martin to the outside, Lindsey, and it creates a hole on the inside. Here comes Hegman, blindsided. Landry did not have a shot.
It's an incompleted pass. His arm had started forward, and it's not a fumble. An incompletion, which simply cost them a down, making it 3rd and 8 at the 22.
Quarterbacks get hot when that happens.
Landry wants Bussey.
Landry's been sacked 25 times, and you're going against a team, the Dallas Cowboy defense, who lead the league in sacks with 25.
And the Lions have been sacked 29 times, which leads the league in the number of times they've been sacked. And a slot right, Landry. Incomplete. Short out. Dexter Bussey. He's had ankle trouble, wears high-top shoes these days. 4th down, the punting unit comes on.
The reason this pass was incomplete. Now watch how quickly Landry has to get the ball off. Well, you can't see it, but he was rushed. Bussey just on a little square out, working on the linebacker. Incomplete.
And it's Wilbur Summers in to do the punting, his 3rd kick of the day, and Butch Johnson is back there rushing 10.
I tell you, no wonder Detroit's had problems all year with blocked punts.
Butch Johnson at his 41-yard line to the 45 and moves it up in advance of the 47-yard line.
He's going to break one before the year is over with, Lindsey. 37-yard punt. But Butch Johnson's so dangerous back there. He will break one before the year is over.
Every family has its differences, but wait till you watch the Battling Boninos in action in tonight's edition of On Our Own, coming on right after Rhoda on CBS. I don't know whether that's for rain or possible sunshine.
I don't know. If I was sitting behind that, I might get a little bit hot.
1st and 10. Dallas Cowboys have the ball at their own 47-yard line. Preston Pearson to the tailback. Newhouse. And he is across to the 46-yard line of Detroit before Reggie Pinckney comes up.
John Fitzgerald, a good block. Herb Arvis had moved over, head up the nose. Now, here's your backs. Right there, Newhouse is off the right side, but Fitzgerald got the key block on the defensive tackle, Herb Arvis.
Cowboy cheerleaders.
I'd like to throw a block in the whole pile right there. They are cute, aren't they?
Muchly publicized also. Preston Pearson went out of the game with a Charlie horse, recovered quickly, and he's in there at tailback right now. 2nd and 3, and he's got the ball. And he has got the first down. Just outside the 42, and we have 39 seconds left to play in the period. Lem Barney on the tackle. Cowboys are leading by a score of 3-0. It is a 1st and 10 outside the 42-yard line.
You know, one thing about it, though, Lindsey, they've controlled the ball game a lot more than the score indicates. Dallas has had fine field position on all 3 of their possessions. They've moved the football, come away with only 3 points. So that might turn around, you know. That could turn around. One good play could put Detroit in pretty good field position.
Clock is run down to 10 seconds now. Remaining to be played in the first quarter. Staubach's got the ball.
Watch the crossing pattern. There
And
it
it's complete to Butch Johnson, and he is at the 25-yard line. So it is a 1st and 10 for the Dallas Cowboys at the 25, and there is the gun.
Here it is. Look at all the time Staubach has to throw the football. He's got Johnson coming over the middle. There he is. He makes the good catch. This guy's dangerous.
Into the quarter, Cowboys 3, Lions nothing. As we start the second quarter here at Texas Stadium, this is Lindsey Nelson with Paul Hornung, and the Dallas Cowboys have the ball. 1st down and 10 yards to go on the Lions' 26-yard line. Cowboys are leading 3-0 as Roger Staubach brings them up. Dorsett evens up with Newhouse. Staubach. Completed to Dupree, the tight end, at the 25-yard line for a gain of a yard. So it'll be 2nd down and 9.
Lem Barney had it diagnosed beautifully. James Hunter on the stop. They tried a little against the grain to the big tight end. Pearson now is 24 yards and 7 carries. Newhouse 31 and 6. First quarter score. Walter Payton has added a touchdown. That's his 6th of the year. So Johnny Musso scored the first touchdown. Walter Payton adding a touchdown. Chicago 13, the Packers nothing in a long year from a man Bart.
2nd down and 9 yards to go. Dorsett's the tailback. Tony Dorsett. No gain. Hopped at the 25 of the Lion defense, led by Paul Newhouse and Charlie Weaver. 3rd down and 9 yards to go.
And that font right there tells a story of a good rookie year. Tony Dorsett averaged 5.7 yards per carry. And he feels if he just can play the game long enough, stay in for a little time, he wants to play. You can't blame that on him because he's been a star. He turned that whole program around to Pittsburgh, but he wants more playing time. He feels that he can play a little bit longer, he'll break one.
Golden Richards went out of the ball game. Butch Johnson came in at a wide receiver. There's a delay call. Delay of game will cost him 5 yards. That'll make it 3rd down and 14, and the ball will move back to the 30-yard line.
You know, Lindsey, sometimes that happens when a quarterback gets to the line of scrimmage. He wants to audible. He looks around at the defense, and he might see a weakness, or they might be stacked up where the play is called. So he audibles at the line of scrimmage. That's why it's so important for the teams to come out of the huddle a little bit more quickly. Get to the line of scrimmage. That enables the quarterback to have a little bit more time. There goes Staubach into the shotgun.
Scott Laidlaw's in the backfield along with Dorsett now. Staubach. From behind as he crossed the 30. Penalty marker thrown. Penalty marker thrown.
Ernest Price got him from behind, and there's a flag down.
Herb Orvis was the man in the flurry there on the ground along with Staubach at the time, and Orvis has come off.
Might be piling on. Let's check it. Here's Staubach out of the shotgun. Notice Fitzgerald. He doesn't even look at the quarterback when he centers it, Linz. See that? That's automatic. The flag was thrown down. You hear the booing in the background. Now, here's Ernest Price. He catches it. Now, when he hits, there goes the football. Now, everybody's running towards the football. So he threw the flag down, and I think he had second thoughts, Lindsey. That's exactly what happened. He had second thoughts, said there was no penalty.
4th down. The ball is spotted at the 28. Waters is in at the 35. It's a 45-yard for a friend. Herrera, a 45-yarder is good. So Herrera with his second field goal of the day. That puts the Dallas Cowboys out in front by a score of 6-0. We have 13 minutes, 22 seconds left to play in the first half. Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, with the Cowboys out front by a score of 6-0. Next Sunday, NFL Regionals on CBS. Dallas and the Giants, New Orleans and Philadelphia, San Francisco and Atlanta, Chicago and Houston, Green Bay and Kansas City. And the doubleheader game, St. Louis and Minnesota, Tampa Bay versus the Los Angeles Rams. A friend Herrera kicks off. knuckleball. Kane takes it at the 80s to the 10 to the 15, 20, 25. Rick Kane up to the 40-yard line. So the Detroit Lions have good field position here.
Now, this is the best field position Detroit has had, Lindsey. In fact, in the first quarter, Dallas controlled the football offensively for over 11 minutes. Detroit only had it for 3.5. Actually, Detroit's very lucky to come out of that first quarter only trailing 6-0.
Horace King is the lone setback. Greg Landry quarterbacking. Tommy Hudspeth's Detroit Lions. Landry throws. Taken out there by Ray Jarvis. Jarvis is hit at the 44-yard line. Benny Barnes on the corner.
Here's Landry. He's going to go to his right side, Ray Jarvis. And notice Detroit, Lindsey, they're throwing everything very quick. They're getting the ball off the little hook pattern on the right side. Jarvis. That's Thomas Henderson and Benny Barnes.
Second down and 6 yards to go. J.D. Hill comes forward to the left side. Still King in a lone set. Landry angling out and throwing. Incomplete to J.D. Hill.
That's the problem.
One of the big problems for the Detroit Lions is the fact that they lost 2 of their fine offensive linemen, Mark Markovich and Rockne Freitas, through injuries. Jim Yarbrough and Russ Bollinger have nursed injuries, and so it's been a little thin on the offensive line for the Detroit Lions.
You got to play with those little hurts. Cincinnati, the Bengals, boy, they haven't had too good a year so far. 10-0 over Houston, third quarter.
Third down and 6 yards to go for the Lions. The double wing set. King got only a yard before he was pushed back, making it 4th and 5. 82 tall Jones led the charge defensively for Dallas, and the punting unit comes on for the Lions. Wilbur Summers is in to do the punting, and Butch Johnson has dropped back to receive it for the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys, of course, are the only undefeated team in the National Football Conference. Won 6 and they have lost none. And now a timeout call for the Detroit Lions. They take a timeout.
I don't think they have enough people out
I think
there.
they're one short. I think you're right.
Reggie Pinckney comes in. Costly timeout in some cases. We've seen so many times where a team's driving 2 minutes to go in the first half, and they could use that extra timeout.
That's the case where there's no penalty for having too few, but you run a pretty good risk of getting a kick block, so they call the timeout.
You know, if anybody did that, this is the kind of mistake that Lombardi would get so hot about. You know, these little mental mistakes. The guy's supposed to be on the special teams, and he's not out there. Have to take that extra timeout. Boy, he would get so peeved at this, and I'm sure the coaches feel the same way.
He wouldn't tell you he was peeved.
No, not at all. Just tear you apart for about 20 minutes in a meeting on Tuesday.
Summers puts it up. Butch Johnson at the 14-yard line. Up to the 15, to the 20, 25, and he goes out of bounds. 40-yard punt, return to the 30-yard line. So now, Cowboys will take over 1st and 10. They have the ball at their own 30-yard line. They're leading 6-0 in the second quarter. Dallas Cowboys have the ball 1st and 10 at their 30-yard line. Staubach brings him up. He's got Tony Dorsett and Robert Newhouse as the setbacks. Wide receivers left and right. Here's a quick pitch to Dorsett. Bumped out of bounds by James Hunter, cornerback on that side. It's a loss of a yard.
Second period score, the Saints at home against the Rams. Boy, that'd be a big upset.
You didn't like living in New Orleans, did you?
Not much. I tell you. I lived there a year and a half.
Brought him out of town with a block and tackle to get him out.
Get me out of town, I'll tell you.
Second down, 11 yards to go at the 29-yard line.
That's not a bad spot either, Dallas.
Oh, big D. You've been here a week, haven't you?
Imagine.
2nd and 11. Cowboys in the slot right. Staubach guns it, incomplete to Dorsett.
Threw it away, he was covered.
3rd and 11 at the 29. Dallas Cowboys on 2 field goals by Efren Herrera, leading by a score of 6-0. We have 11 minutes, 36 seconds left to play in the first half.
Yeah, Golden Richards coming in with the play. They alternate the plays in for Roger Staubach.
There's a little light misting rain falling here at Irving, Texas. Weatherman said 40%. He came home a winner. Third down play from the shotgun. Roger Staubach. Dorsett got the football at the 40-yard line. Now, what about the first down? It's very close.
Now watch Dorsett coming out of the backfield. It's actually a double wing slot out of the shotgun. Here he comes. He's going to work on the linebacker. And Roger Staubach actually makes a good pass here. If he would have led him, Lindsey, he would have kept leading. It would have been incomplete. Good catch by Dorsett. And it's a little bit short.
Little short, and the punter has come in. Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. Sellout crowd, and the misting rain falling through the aperture in the roof. Danny White's back to do the punting. Eddie Payton and Dick Geron are deep. Fair catch signal by Geron. And the Yale graduate makes the catch at the 26-yard line.
Let's get something happening now.
33-yard punt by White. First and 10 for the Detroit Lions. Being brought in and spotted at the inbound marker near the 27-yard line, so call it first and 10. Lions at their 27. The Detroit Lions have the ball first and 10 at their own 27. We have 10 minutes, 42 seconds left to play in the first half. Dallas is leading 6-0. Dexter Bussey is in there along with King. 2 setbacks in this alignment. Greg Landry, the quarterback. Landry has the ball. J.D. Hill on the intercepted. Taken by Washington, and he is back inside the 20 and to the 18-yard line. So it'll be first and 10 at the 18-yard line. Mark Washington picked it up.
Well, he tried to go to a little hook pattern to J.D. Hill. It was overthrown. And watch Mark Washington is his second interception of the year. Play action right here. He's got the time to throw the football just a little bit off. You can see Hill was covered. And Mark Washington, playing the deep zone, comes up with the second interception, gets it back inside the 19.
Dallas Cowboys first and 10. They're leading by a score of 6-0, and the crowd is alive here at Texas Stadium. Dorsett, the tailback. Dorsett to the 17-yard line. About 2 on the play will make it 2nd down and 8. Ken Sanders made the stop.
This defense for Detroit better be in shape. Looks like they're playing 3/4 of the game so far.
Rich Johnson's coming into the ballgame. Jay Salty's coming into the ballgame for the Dallas Cowboys. Drew Pearson is going off. So they're running a double tight end alignment here. Billy Joe Dupree stays in the ballgame. Johnson is a wide receiver to the left side. Newhouse and Dorsett are the setbacks. Newhouse moves over. Newhouse. Just inside the 15. Doug English upended it. 3rd down, about 5.
Newhouse now has 34 yards and 7 carries. And an extra linebacker in now for Detroit. Arvis comes out. And Laslovic comes in.
Laslovic coming in. Ed O'Neill, the starting middle linebacker these days for the Detroit Lions. Dorsett moved back, evened up with Newhouse. Blitz. Staubach. Touchdown Dupree. Tight end Billy Joe Dupree for the touchdown.
That's his first touchdown of the year, the big tight end, Lindsey. I said blitz. And when the Dallas offense picked up the blitz beautifully, you got man-to-man in your secondary, and he had all day to throw it, and he found his man wide open. And the Dallas fans are happy.
Now, Efren Herrera to attempt the conversion. Last week, he missed one. It was the first miss after 82 consecutive conversions. Charlie Waters holds for him. Herrera's point is good. And the score is the Dallas Cowboys 13, the Detroit Lions nothing.
Let's take a look at that touchdown play. Now watch the blitz. Here comes the blitz. beautifully. He picked it up great. I think that was Rafferty. And here goes Dupre in for the touchdown. Unopposed. I tell you, Lindsay, you cannot, the offense for Detroit's been the problem. They have just put too much pressure on that defense, and something's going to break. You give this offense that many opportunities, good field position, they'll score 40 on you.
Now, last week, against San Francisco, the Detroit Lions used 3 quarterbacks. They used Greg Landry, Joe Reed, and Gary Danielson. Danielson is not eligible today. He was one of the designated players off the roster for today's game. But the Detroit Lions have been unable to move the offense appreciably, and we might see Joe Reed come into this ball game.
Well, that defense for Dallas has played well. That interception by Washington was their 14th interception on the year. They only had 16 all of last year. And it's because of the pass rush, Lindsay.
Efren Herrera kicking off. Rick Kane moves over. Kane at the 7. He's at the 10 to the 15. Rick Kane to the 20, 25. Rick Kane pulled down at the 28-yard line by Benny Barnes. Joe Reed is the quarterback. Joe Reed angles out, sets and throws for Detroit, incomplete to J.D. Hill.
He was open. Bad pass. There's a good route on the right side by J.D. Hill. He was open, had the linebacker beaten. Of course, he may be a little bit rusty, too. This is his first appearance today. Reed on the year, 4 out of 17 for only 55 yards. He's had 1 interception. So he hadn't played too much.
6'1", 195-pounder, a 6-year veteran from Mississippi State, Joe Reed. Ball is just short of the 29-yard line where it's 2nd down and 10 yards to go for the Lions.
And, you know, we did a couple of line games early, and they were really moving the ball offensively. It looks like they've gone into the shell the last couple of weeks.
Part of the problem, they say, is that offensive line. Reed now. Pull down. It was Bill Gregory, number 77.
But Ed Too Tall Jones was there first, forcing Reed up into the pocket. Well, that sack pack, there's something. Harvey Martin's got 10 sacks on the year already.
That will make it 3rd down and 12 yards to go. Lions have not beaten the Cowboys in a regular season game since 1960. They haven't played each other really very often. They have not been regularly scheduled.
6 times, 5-1. Now here they come. Here's what Jim Yarborough, now he's playing with a slight shoulder injury. He's got to go against Harvey Martin head up on a 3rd and long. See if they come with the draw.
King and Bussey, the setback. Blitz. Reed angled out. It's batted at the line of scrimmage, incomplete.
Now, this is what they put in today, where they said they were going to do a few rollouts today because of that pass rush. At least it cuts it halfway down. Here's Reed on the rollout left, trying to go on a square out pattern to J.D. Hill, and a good pass deflection. He really got up in the air. Who is that?
I think it's Too Tall Jones.
Yep, Too Tall's on the outside. Might be Randy White there, deflecting it. Yeah, that's who it was.
Wilbur Summers is in to do the punting. Butch Johnson is back to receive the punt. Johnson at the 38, to the 40, 45, and he stopped at the 48-yard line. 35-yard punt. NFL Regionals on CBS next Sunday. Dallas and the Giants, New Orleans and Philadelphia, San Francisco and Atlanta.
Chicago's at Houston, and Lindsay and I will be at Kansas City for the Packers.
And doubleheader games, St. Louis and Minnesota, Tampa Bay and the Los Angeles Rams, all next Sunday on CBS. 1st down and 10 yards to go for the Dallas Cowboys. They have the ball at their own 48-yard line. Dorsett and Newhouse are the setbacks. Newhouse to the 48-yard line. Gain of 4, Ken Sanders, Herb Orvis.
He dives over that line of scrimmage a lot. Of course, on this turf. Cowboys in control.
Staubach's got the ball. Drew Pearson, incomplete.
There's that bootleg, and what Pearson does the best. He comes across, and Roger waits for him to clear the zone. Now, he's coming back in motion. He'll cut upfield. Now, watch him come across all the way. Now, he's clearing linebackers right now, and Roger tries to find the hole. It was right there. Incomplete.
It'll be third down coming up now for the Dallas Cowboys. They're leading by a score 13-0. Laidlaw has come in there now, and Newhouse has gone out. Dorsett's the other running back. Now they have Laidlaw behind Staubach in the shotgun. Staubach got the direct snap. And it's incomplete. Barney made a move on Dupree. No call.
And I think it was interference. He got there a little bit early. Lem Barney, of course, the big gambler. He's been the big playback on defense for so many years for Detroit.
On fourth down, the punting unit is in for the Dallas Cowboys.
Could have thrown the flag on that one. Judgment call. That's the toughest call, I think, for the referee.
Danny White is back to do the punting, and Eddie Payton is in a single safety to receive it for the Detroit Lions. They're rushing 10. White boomed it out. Fair catch signal goes up. He lets it go. Now can it be down there? Yes, it can. Inside the 5-yard line near the 2.
Well, and Detroit's got a battle on their hands right now to come from behind. 13. They haven't moved the ball at all. And the defense smells a little something here. They love to play defense when you got the team backed up inside that your own 5-yard line.
First and 10 at the 3-yard line. Reed is the quarterback. Horace King, the lone setback in this alignment. King moved out past the 7. Cliff Harris made the stop.
Third period score, New England was trailing early in that ball game, has come back 24-10 over the Jets. Grogan's thrown a few touchdown passes in that one. Steve Grogan, their fine quarterback.
Ball is moved up past the 8-yard line. Second down play coming. Reed still quarterbacking the Detroit Lions.
Oh, they need a first down here.
King. He's very close to the first down as he made that last lunge.
Let's see where they mark it. Might be a little bit short.
Rooney and Harris made the stop. Third down and a little short. Less than a yard to go.
That'll bring in Bill Larson, second-year man from Colorado, another tight end for blocking purposes. As the fans here would love to see him stop it from third and short.
Bussey and King are the setbacks. Bussey, first and 10, a penalty marker from the head linesman.
Yeah, they got the first down easily over the right side, Lynch.
Offsides against the Dallas Cowboys. That'll give the Detroit Lions a first and 10.
Give them an extra 5, too.
Offside, defense, number 41.
That is the first down of the afternoon for the Detroit Lions.
And you won't see that too much. Early in the show, we said these safety men will come up and stick you. Charlie Waters and Cliff Harris. Waters was offsides.
King, the lone setback. King's got it. Breaks the tackle. Moves up to the 20-yard line.
Harvey Martin was into the backfield so quick. Now watch this. We've got a good ISO for you. Look, Harvey Martin wasn't even touched. And Horace King does a nice job in salvaging that play for a 2-yard gain.
5 minutes, 23 seconds remaining to be played in the first half with the Cowboys leading 13-0. Center John Morris turning to say something to his quarterback. Reed angles out.
Good catch.
At the 35.
Ooh, a good catch on
Ray
the right.
Jarvis.
Ray Jarvis, Lindsay. Ooh, what a nice catch that was. He was sliding. See if we can pick it up on the right side. Roll out. And here is the offensive strategy, I think, today for Detroit. They're going to roll out, try to get away from that rush. There goes Jones down. Now watch this catch by Jarvis. And he had it on the numbers. He dropped it. They ruled it complete. 1st and 10, Detroit.
At their own 35-yard line. Complete pass. Bussy. Still for a loss. Mike Eggman. Jethro Pugh was there.
Jethro Pugh was really there. He was the first one to trip him up. How about this? 10-10. Tied up in the second quarter. Rams against the Saints.
2nd down, 11 yards to go.
Well, if the Saints could beat the Rams, you wouldn't think that would give Atlanta a little jubilation, would you?
In the Western Division of the NFC.
Tied up 4-2 apiece. Blitz. Reed.
He was really popped as he released the football.
I tell you, Dallas is blitzing. Not known too much as strictly a blitz team because of their great front four, but they really put the blitz on this afternoon. Reed had no chance. Thomas Henderson, number 56. Somebody missed him on the right side. Now watch all the linebackers come here. There's Thomas Henderson. Comes up the middle. He gets rid of John Morris, the center, and he'll come into your view right here. Oh, and Reed pays for it.
3rd down and 11 yards to go for the Lions. 3:44 left in the first half.
Blitz again.
Reed. Incomplete. Penalty marker thrown by the referee.
Boy, they're causing Detroit's quarterbacks to really release the football in a hurry.
Holding against the Detroit Lions.
I think they've only made 1 first down here. Two in the whole first half.
That is declined, so the 4th down
Offensive
comes
holding,
up.
number 81. Refused. 4th down.
David Hill holding. It has been declined, so that 4th down comes around, and the punting unit's in with Wilbur Summers to do the booting. Butch Johnson is back to receive the punt for the Dallas Cowboys. Goes out of bounds immediately at the 34-yard line. 1st down and 10 yards to go for the Dallas Cowboys. Drew Pearson in motion to the inside. Tony Dorsett carried the ball to the 37-yard line. Ed O'Neill, middle linebacker, made the tackle for Dallas, or rather for Detroit. Paul, you were mentioning next Saturday and the many events that will be seen on CBS, and the world's strongest men, the 5th event of the decathlon is the tire toss. Now, you take the tire, you see, off your favorite car, and you toss it like a discus.
Oh, you're kidding. You got to be 400 pounds to lift it.
Tony Dorsett carrying. Well, as he crossed the 40, he hit the deck and got up to about the 42-yard line.
They haven't had anybody this quick in the backfield here in Dallas. And Dorsett almost broke that one.
They haven't had anybody that quick in the backfield many places.
That's true.
It'll be 3rd down and 3 yards to go for the Cowboys.
And the Saints hanging right in there. Tom Blanchard threw a 3-yard pass. He's their punter. Don't ask me to explain that.
Staubach. Drew Pearson incomplete. Punting unit comes out now for the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh, I think he heard the footsteps that time of number 50, Paul Newmoff. Should have had it.
Danny White is in to do the punting, and Eddie Payton is driving back to field it for the Detroit Lions. That's Payton. brother of Walter Payton, National Football Conference's leading rusher for the Chicago Bears, of course.
Boy, would Detroit love to have this Payton turn into any kind of a similarity to Walter.
Long, high, spiraling punt. There'll be no run back. It'll be marked up out of bounds. 1st and 10 for the Detroit Lions. And it's going to be marked at the 30-yard line. Cowboys 13, Lions nothing. 2-minute warning. A light misting rain is falling here, so there are some who have umbrellas and some who have programs on their heads and otherwise.
And we agree with that, CBS, along with the Cowboys.
1st and 10 for the Detroit Lions at their own 30-yard line. Horace King at the setback here, and Joe Reed's the quarterback. Reed back to set it up. Intercepted at the 43-yard line. It is Mike Hegman with the football, and Hegman has an interception. That was really in a crowd.
Boy, I'm telling you, you talk about double coverage. They had him triple covered. Reed threw it right into a crowd. Just a 4-man rush here. Watch Harvey Martin get rid of the tackle. Reed gets rid of it on target. But the guy, was he covered or not, Lindsey?
Woo. They're all around.
That's his first interception of the year. I tell you, that's 15 interceptions for the Cowboy defense.
So now the Cowboys have it 1st and 10 at the Lions 42. The Cowboys are leading 13-0. They have 1:53 seconds left in the half. Laidlaw and Dorsett are the running backs for Roger Staubach. Staubach has the ball. Dorsett dives across the 40 to the 39-yard line. Gain a 3-yard, 2nd and 7.
And officially, Dorsett has carried the ball 7 times today for 0 yards. He lost a couple, so now he's back. He was 6 carries for -3 yards. Now he's 7 carries for 0 yards. He could change that in a hurry with one little break.
Only takes a moment. Shotgun. Staubach for the direct snap. Laidlaw moved back even with it. Oh, little procedure. Some folks starting somewhere.
Ralph Neely on the left side, the left tackle.
Against the Dallas Cowboys, a 5-yarder.
I think Detroit will be glad to get home. Of course, they haven't won on the road. In fact, out of the last 10 games, they've lost 9 of them on the road.
Ball starts, offense, number 64.
And they called it on 64. Ralph Neely moved also. That's Tom Rafferty, the right guard, too, moved. But
2nd down and 12.
It's funny how teams love that home cooking, isn't it? They're great football teams, will win on the road.
Shotgun again. Dorsett is evened up with Staubach. Staubach. Joe Pearson with his version of a statue motionless along the sideline, afraid to move those feet.
I want to tell you, this is a picture catch. And we've got him on the ISO for you. Watch him. Now he's going to clear the back here. It's double coverage. And watch how he just leans. He knows exactly where he is. 25-yard pickup. Absolutely beautiful. Drew Pearson doing what he does best. All pro in every respect.
1st down and 10 yards to go, and they have it at the Detroit 19-yard line. We have 1 minute, 8 seconds left to play in the half.
That was Artie, wasn't it?
Really was. Staubach. Laidlaw incomplete. The hit made by Hunter.
And a good hit.
Make it 2nd and 10 at the 19. There are a few Heisman Trophy winners mixing and mingling out there. Roger Staubach won the Heisman, and Dorsett won the Heisman. We got one in the booth, as a matter of fact. Our Mr. Hornung won the Heisman. 2nd down and 10 yards to go.
Who's going to win it this year, Lance?
That's a good question. It could be. My candidate is a lineman. My candidate's Ken McAfee at Notre Dame.
Oh, he's a great one. Dead cinch #1 draft choice.
Only 2 non-backs have ever won it.
And you got Earl Campbell here at Texas. Terry Miller at Oklahoma State.
Staubach dropping back.
Look at
Goes
this.
back across, and it's a catch, and Laidlaw has it, and Laidlaw's at the 10, 5, touchdown! Laidlaw for a touchdown.
They made a good catch. He picked it right off the ground. Roll out right, sleeper left. A little razzle-dazzle as Dallas can only do it. Here comes Staubach way around to the right side, and Detroit defense forgot all about back against the grain. Here's Laidlaw. Now watch the blocks he picks up. That's Ralph Neely out in front. John Fitzgerald right there, and Laidlaw just bulls his way in the last three.
Efren Herrera to attempt the conversion with Charlie Waters holding. Herrera boots, and it's good. And so, the Dallas Cowboys have taken a 20-0 lead over the Detroit Lions with 53 seconds remaining to be played in the first half here at Texas Stadium. And if the Cowboys maintain the lead and win the ball game, they'll have the finest start they have ever had since the franchise was formed.
If you're crazy about statistics, Lindsay, we could go on and on about Dallas this year. 6-0 start, the best start in the NFL. Tom Landry, his record is the best record in the past decade. 118 wins, only 40 losses and 2 ties. Dallas this year leads the NFC in offense. They lead in defense. They've got the #1 passer in Staubach. They've got the #2 receiver in Drew Pearson. Got the #1 in interceptions in Cliff Harris. They've got the best kicker. What else could you want?
Well, I think the Cowboys are the product of a very thoroughgoing, excellent organization. They have consistently been able to produce a competitive football team. Herrera kicks off. Rick Kane moves over for the Detroit Lions. He's got it at the 7-yard line. Rick Kane to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. 25, finds a little daylight.
Fumble.
30, fumble the ball. It's recovered by Detroit. Detroit gets the ball.
Ooh.
Woodcock on the football, so it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Detroit Lions at their own 28.
It's Rick Kane. Now, he's running very good. He hits that hole. He doesn't slow up a bit. He's doing his job. Just didn't hold on to the football. He's tackled. The ball goes free. And watch 77, Mr. John Woodcock, with the very important fumble recovery there, because with 45 seconds left to go, Staubach had enough time.
Joe Reed is still the quarterback. Horace King is the lone setback in the Detroit alignment. Lots of contact made all over.
Let's see if that offensive tackle moves. Ed Too Tall Jones was in the backfield before the snap.
Offsides against the Dallas Cowboys. Makes it 1st and 5 at the 33 with 42 seconds left to play.
Offside, defense, number 79.
79.
Harvey Martin.
Too Tall Jones was offside, too. And they got the numbers mixed up on that one. Well, either Dallas defense just been superior today. Depends on the way you look at it. Offense for Detroit has been miserable.
Reed. Fumble the ball. As he went down and rolled away, and Dallas got it.
Randy White paused with Lindsay, and he got the football back.
1st and 10 at the 30-yard line.
Let's watch number 54, Randy White. Now, here he comes on the inside. Reed runs out to the left. There's Randy White. Grabs his right arm. The football goes free, and watch White fight for it. He's got it.
Randy White wearing number 54, a jersey number that's worn by a fellow named Chuck Howley here with the Dallas Cowboys, and worn exceptionally well for a number of seasons.
And he'll be inducted into Dallas's Ring of Honor here at halftime.
33 seconds left in the half as Staubach moves back into the shotgun, and Dorsett evens up with him. Staubach. Dorsett. 20, 18, 17. 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line.
13-yard pickup to Tony Dorsett.
Timeout for Dallas to stop the clock. 24 seconds left.
I'd like to point out something. Now watch Dorsett. Now here's where his great ability comes into hand. You're going to see this. It's just a little delay outside. Now watch him turn it on when Newmoff comes up. Watch this little move here. Right there. And he's going right by the linebacker for the first down. That is acceleration. Staubach now 10 out of 18. 126 yards, 1 TD.
Roger Staubach, Tom Landry, the only head coach that the Dallas Cowboys have ever had. He's out of Mission, Texas. Played football at the University of Texas. Played and coached for the New York Giants.
Invented the 4-3 defense. He's invented the offense to try to beat the 4-3 defense. He's invented the flex defense. And there's not too many things he doesn't know about football. This is the kind of game they like. You know, they're sitting on a 20-0 lead. They're loose. They're 6-0 on the year. They're headed for the playoffs. No question about that. And they want it all. They want it all.
Landry's got his foul weather gear on today. He read the stats, and they said 40% chance of rain, and he came prepared. First and 10 at the 17. Staubach. Touchdown to Pearson. Drew Pearson for the touchdown.
And he goes through with these famous little spike. Drew Pearson for his second touchdown of the day.
Penalty marker. Holding against the Dallas Cowboys and nullifies it.
This will be called back. What a beautiful post pattern right on the numbers. 42 was Reggie Pinckney, the rookie out of East Carolina. He beat him.
It is all for naught. A holding penalty against the Dallas Cowboys nullifies it. Chuck Heberling, the referee, steps it off. A 10-yarder.
Holding, offense, number 64.
Tom Rafferty again.
Rafferty, they're high on him. He's a second-year man from Penn State. Last week, Lindsay, we watched Rafferty pulling, and I was very impressed by the way he pulls. He's a good blocker. He's got good speed. It's going to be a good one.
First and 20 at the 27. Staubach looks for a screen left to Dorsett. 15 and out of bounds. Out of bounds at the 13-yard line.
There he is. There it is. The breakaway ability, and he got out of bounds very smartly. He picked up 14 yards. Here it comes. Watch him go out. Just a safety valve on the left side. It's a screen. Now when he cuts back, he turns it on. Right there. He just left Ed O'Neill looking at him. And there's Hunter. He pushes him out of bounds and stopping the clock.
Stops the clock with 10 seconds left. Second down and 6 yards to go for the Cowboys at the Detroit 13-yard line. Cowboys are leading by a score of 20-0 and trying to get another one on the scoreboard before the halftime intermission. Staubach. Incomplete. Butch Johnson. He took a long look as he tied in Billy Joe Dupree, but he didn't clear in the end zone, so he simply got it over there in the direction of Johnson.
Good play by Herb Arvis that time, rushing the pass. We're going to have a field goal attempt.
So Efren Herrera comes in to attempt the field goal with 5 seconds on the clock. On third down, Charlie Waters will hold it to 20, making it a 30-yard attempt for Efren Herrera. He's had 2 already today. The 30-yarder is up, and now he has 3. So the Dallas Cowboys are leading by a score of 23-0, and we have 3 seconds remaining to be played. 23-0, and 3 seconds remaining to be played in the first half.
Oh, those couple of turnovers, Lance. They put 10 points on the board because of it. 2 interceptions. Fumble recovery by Randy White. This team's too good to make those kind of mistakes against.
As you're aware, these Dallas Cowboys like to wear those white jerseys, and that's why they're wearing them here today with the Detroit Lions wearing their blues that they normally wear at home on the road here, because Detroit Lions like to wear those blues. There's a little differentiation between the two. Dallas has royal blue, metallic blue, and white. Detroit calls theirs Honolulu blue and silver. Herrera from UCLA will do the kicking off. Rick Kane is center deep to receive it for the Detroit Lions. The last 2 minutes now. The clock doesn't start until the ball is touched by a member of the receiving team in the field of play. It starts now. Picked up at the 15-yard line. Thompson is carrying. Leonard Thompson is stopped at the 30, and time has run out. So the gun goes off, and the Dallas Cowboys go off the field for the halftime intermission, leading the Lions by a score of 23-0. And it's been just sort of that kind of a half. The Detroit Lions are a little bit frustrated, taking their time as they head for their locker room. Dallas Cowboys have already cleared, sprinting to the locker room. Cowboys 23, the Detroit Lions nothing at the end of the first half before a sellout crowd here at Texas Stadium.
Well, Lindsay, not much of a contest. Completely all Dallas. They have just completely manhandled Detroit, both offensively and defensively, controlling the football actually in the first quarter for over 11 minutes. Making the mistakes against this good team, you got to repeat it, then you just cannot. Dallas is just too good. They're young, and they play like they're very, very experienced.
Again, at the end of the half, Dallas 23, Detroit nothing. At halftime, Texas Stadium, it's the Dallas Cowboys 23 and the Detroit Lions nothing. Paul Hornung, Tommy Hudspeth of the Detroit Lions worked all week, of course, with new little wrinkles he hoped would compensate for the fact that the offensive line hasn't been that effective. But if you turn that ball over and don't get it all that much, it doesn't really matter that much.
I'm telling you, they're really in they've got a terrible problem. No question about that, Linz. They've only got 2 first downs, 38 yards in total offense. Of course, Dallas is a lot better football team than Detroit. We can easily see this, but I can't understand, Linz. You know, we saw Detroit play earlier in the season. They were a much better football team, and they have just, it seems as if when they go on the road, they're in trouble.
Well, that's true because of their last 10 times on the road, they've won only one ball game. They've lost 6 in a row on the road. And when you play the Dallas Cowboys, you might look worse than you are, though, because they do so many things so well.
I think you hit the nail on the head. If you start turning the football over and making mistakes against this team, they'll stuff it right down your throat. They've got the killer instinct, and that is very unusual for a great football team, Lindsay. Usually you'll see teams in the National Football League, when they get 3 touchdowns on top, they go into a shell and play very conservative. Not this football team. They'll come right back at you and try to put some more points on the board.
Tony Dorsett, acquired, of course, out of the University of Pittsburgh by the Dallas Cowboys, has added really a new dimension to their attack.
And I would call it excitement.
That's what it is.
He hasn't really rushed the football that effectively here in the first half. I think he's, well, let's see, only got 3 yards total in 6 or 7 carries. But we saw at the end of the first half what he can do. He can catch a little swing pass, break, make the big play, got out of bounds I thought did a good job getting out of bounds, stopping the clock, and he's going to make the big play for Dallas in the years to come.
So the Dallas Cowboys are leading by a score of 23-0 at the end of the first half here at Texas Stadium. The NFL Today on CBS will return after this word from your local station. They're welcome. They're welcome to do this to us. We're not proud. Thank you.
No, I'll get it, man.
Da-da-da-da-da.
What kind of car is that? Is that an old Buick down there, Lindsay? Is that a Buick or old Buick or
Looks like it, doesn't it?
looks like an old Buick,
Yeah,
or it might be an Oldsmobile.
Looks like a Buick, it really does.
All right, Irv, we've got the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. The Cowboys, the only unbeaten team in the NFC, and unless Detroit can get its act together in the second half, they will stay that way halfway through the season. Herrera's field goal from the 45-yard line made it 6-0 in favor of the Cowboys. Young Mark Washington steps in to intercept this pass by Landry, and watch the return they get. They yell fire on that defensive unit. Irv Cross, you defensive backs, you know how to do it. Now Billy Joe Dupree catches the 15-yard touchdown pass from Staubach, gets into the end zone, and it became 13-0. Detroit made only 2 first downs in the first half. And I think that's more a tribute to that Cowboy defensive unit, because Landry can get you some first downs. There's Hagman with an interception. And from there, it was Scott Laidlaw as the Cowboys marched it in. And, of course, at the half, they lead 23-0 as they got down to kick still another field goal. Look at the blocking wall that forms there for the Dallas Cowboys. They know how to do it, and they've got great athletes in that franchise.
At halftime here at Texas Stadium, the Dallas Cowboys 23, the Detroit Lions nothing, and now we'll check scores of other games around the National Football League.
It's Minnesota, 2 touchdown passes. Fran Tarkenton over Atlanta, fourth quarter. 14-7 Washington. Philadelphia's coming back. Jaworski a touchdown pass. It's Washington 23, Philadelphia 17, fourth quarter. And we got a defensive battle going on. Cincinnati 10, Houston 3. Oh, what a rout. Cleveland. Boy, I tell you, I guess, Lindsay, they're probably the biggest surprise in the NFL. What a tough season they've had as far as opponents are concerned. 30-0 on top of the Chiefs. Complete rout. New England coming back. They trailed early in that ball game, 24-13 over the New York Jets. And Miami in a tight struggle, fourth quarter, 13-7. I think they missed an extra point in there. And Chicago shutting out Green Bay 16-0. Johnny Musso scored once, Walter Payton scored once, and they had a field goal from Bob Thomas. And Los Angeles at halftime has taken a 3-point lead over New Orleans. New Orleans was ahead in that ball game all the way, and the Rams now controlling a 3-point lead.
Those scores of other games around the National Football League, with the Cowboys leading the Lions 23-0 here at Texas Stadium. Cowboys, of course, the only undefeated team in the National Football Conference. And they are, of course, well on their way to the finest start they've ever had. If they win here this afternoon, it'll be the best start the Dallas Cowboys have ever had.
And it is a pleasure.
Bob Lilly is on the field now for the induction ceremony of former linebacker Chuck Howley into the Dallas Ring of Honor. Don Meredith, Bob Lilly, Don Perkins are the only other members. They are all here. Here's Lilly.
He was an All-Pro for 6 years during his 13-year career. He was a Pro Bowler 6 years. He went to college in West Virginia. He was a 5-sport letterman 4 years in a row. He was drafted by the Chicago Bears, number 1, in 1958. He was my original teammate back in 1961. And as I said, he was here 13 years. He is a great friend of mine. He's a friend of the Cowboys. And I know he appreciates all the fans and all the people who chose him. Without further ado, Chuck Howley.
Boy, listen, what a great linebacker he was. Quick, smart.
The entire Cowboy team is gathered there in 2 lines at midfield to witness this induction ceremony of former linebacker Chuck Howley into the Ring of Honor.
Glad to start the ring. I only know of one way to show my appreciation, and it's rather simple. I thank the Cowboy organization for inducting me into the Ring of Honor. I thank very deeply the coaches who put up with me for 13 years and made me the professional that I was. I thank my fellow players that are sitting in the stands today, and they're still the ones that are still out here playing today. And the fans that gave me the encouragement and the urge to make the big plays, because I got this from you people too. Lastly, I got to show a great deal of admiration to my wife Nancy, my son Scott, and my daughter Robin, because it's pretty tough to put up with a professional athlete for 13 years getting ready for each game. Thank you, one and all.
Chuck Howley. Tex Schramm moving up there to shake his hand. And you can see the name Chuck Howley on the blue ring, which separates the upper and lower levels on the press box side. And there is the blue jacket, Bob Lilly fitting it on him, and Tex Schramm there.
Chuck, I want to present you with this specially designed replica of the Ring of Honor, which has now your name, along with Bob's, Don's, Don's. Hope you keep it the rest of your life.
Thank you very much, Tex. And again, my sincere appreciation for the fine organization the Cowboys has brought forth since 1960.
Frank Lieber is emceeing this ceremony.
Next, the only head coach that Chuck Howley ever had from 1961 to 1973 with the Dallas Cowboys, Tom Landry.
Standing ovation for Tom Landry.
It's a real privilege for me to have the opportunity to speak for the coaches and the present team, and also congratulating Chuck Howley for this honor. I don't know of anyone that's more deserving than Chuck Howley. Not only was he a great pro, he's a great team man, but more important than that, he was a great person. And he did probably as much as anybody in helping Dallas build a franchise. So my congratulations to Chuck and his family today. Thank you.
Tom Landry, the head coach. Chuck Howley getting congratulations all around as he becomes the fourth man to be inducted into the Ring of Honor. The others are right there. Don Meredith, Don Perkins, Bob Lilly, and Chuck Howley.
Four pretty good athletes right there, I'll tell you. Chuck Howley, Linz, I think, was the only guy in the history of the Super Bowl to win the most valuable player on the losing cause. I was in Super Bowl V.
So there are the Dallas Cowboy Immortals who have been inducted so far into the Ring of Honor. Here at Texas Stadium, the home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboy halftime entertainment is produced and directed by...
And now he will be taken around the track in the automobile so that the fans can be a little closer to their hero, Chuck Howley. This is a part of the induction ceremony. He played his college football at the University of West Virginia.
Beautiful antique car.
Looks like one of the several cars Paul Hornung had at Notre Dame.
Several. The only car I had was my thumb. Oh, Chuck Howley. I had to block him a lot, Lindsay, and he was difficult. 13 years, sterling performance. Oh, this happy day for him. It's a very nice gesture. The Detroit Lions shaking hands with him on the sidelines, too. West Virginia. All right.
A contingent of the Detroit Lions had come back onto the field just in time to run into the middle of this ceremony. I don't think they planned it that way.
I tell you, I think this is a great tradition that the Dallas Cowboy organization has started. As you can see, the fan interest and the reception has just been great. It goes a long way in public relations. Just another example, Linz, I guess, of the great organization of the Cowboys. This tradition will go on for years and years. They're to be congratulated for it.
Chuck Howley, number 54. Number that Randy White wears just now. There was a newspaper cartoon in Dallas this morning showing Tom Landry being approached by a fellow who wanted to take the jersey of Chuck Howley. Landry said to him, "You take it," indicating it's worn by Randy White, who is 6'4", 245 pounds, and taking it wouldn't be all that easy.
I'll tell you one thing, Randy White's doing the jersey justice, too.
Chuck Howley now leaves the field from the tunnel, and these induction ceremonies have been completed. Two teams are coming back onto the field for the resumption of play here at Texas Stadium, with the Dallas Cowboys leading the Detroit Lions by a score of 23-0. Detroit Lions will kick off. Here's some stats, halftime stats.
I think it tells the whole story. First downs, Detroit 2, Dallas 11. Yards rushing, Detroit only 25 yards. Yards passing, only 13 yards passing for Detroit. Dallas over 200 yards in offense.
Steve Mickemeyer will kick it off for the Detroit Lions. Butch Johnson has dropped back with Larry Brinson to receive it. Brinson at the bottom of your screen. Here comes Mickemeyer. Brinson. 3 yards deep in the end zone. Will not run it out. Touchback, first and 10 at the 20-yard line for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, Detroit's got to not only hope for a miracle, they've got to hope for some turnovers. They've got to recover maybe a fumble or two or hope for an interception to give this team a little bit of momentum and get some points on the board. This is not as bad a team, and I repeat that, as they're playing today. Detroit's a much better football team, but they don't play like it on the road.
Roger Staubach, the quarterback, brings him up. Tony Dorsett and Robert Newhouse are the setbacks, and that's Dorsett going into the tailback in the I formation. Newhouse, he is stood up by Herb Orvis.
Look at Orvis. He's having a little fun. He pats him on the back. Newhouse laughs with him. I tell you one thing, you can't lose your sense of humor when something like this is going on.
No gain on the play. Second and 10. The ball is spotted back up at the 20-yard line. Again, Staubach brings him up. Dorsett, the tailback. He has it. Picked up 3 to the 23. That'll make it third down and 7 yards to go for the Dallas Cowboys. Doug English made the stop.
Let's pick up some blocking. That's 78. Doug English. That's the center, John Fitzgerald, moving him over to the right side, although he did have responsibility on that side.
English got back to trip him up. It's at the 23-yard line, third down and 7 to go. Preston Pearson. And they're at the running back now.
And third and 7. They love to go to the backs on this little hook pattern. There it is.
Preston Pearson, first and 10 at the 34-yard line.
I tell you, third and 7. Preston Pearson caught 21 passes coming into this. Now watch him. He's on the left side of your screen. He'll work on the linebacker and just hook up. Third and 7. And Pearson knows he's got the first down. He's about 9 yards downfield. In between the linebackers, Ed O'Neill, Charlie Weaver.
Billy Joe Dupree, number 89, just sticking his head into the huddle. Dorsett's back in there with Newhouse. Dorsett to the 40-yard line. Picked up 6 on the play to make it second down and 4 yards to go. Charlie Weaver made the stop.
Minnesota 7-point win and a big win for the Vikings over the Atlanta Falcons, 14-7.
Starting the day, Minnesota had a 1-game lead over the Detroit Lions in the Central Division, so the Minnesotans have won their game. Second down, 4 yards to go for the Dallas Cowboys, who lead here 23-0 in the third quarter. Quick pitch. Dorsett to the 42. Herb Orvis made the stop.
So, another final. New England held on to beat the New York Jets by 11, 24-13. That team's going to be in the playoff, Lindsay. Got a lot of fireworks in that ball club. Russ Francis, Steve Grogan, good defense.
Third down, 2 yards to go. Solid. He is out of bounds with the first down at the 47-yard line. Dorsett.
Fumble.
Just picked up on a bounce. Jim Cooper dribbled it. but it's going to be brought back and spotted at the 47-yard line.
Let me explain something here. 10 years ago, that would have been a fumble in the National Football League. But the way they decipher the rules now, as soon as you go down and you hit the turf, they blow the whistle. The play is dead. In other words, the turf or the grass or whatever they're playing on does not cause the fumble anymore. Years ago, if you hit the ground and you fumbled, it would have been a fumble. Today, it's dead.
Second down, 5 yards to go at the 47. Newhouse cut off at the pass. At the 49, Ken Sanders was there.
Sanders has 8 sacks on the year, and of course that indicates good defensive play. And another final. San Diego and his squeaker over the Dolphins, 14-13.
Seems to me San Diego's in a lot of squeakers. They win some and they lose some. Third down and 9 yards to go.
That improves San Diego's record to 4-3. They've got to catch Denver and Oakland in that conference, though.
Preston Pearson, the tailback. Roger Staubach in the shotgun. Here's Joe Dupree. First and 10 at the 38-yard line.
Lem Barney on the stop. But Staubach all the time in the world. Oh, they protect for this guy, don't they, Lance? Look at the 4-man rush. No blitz, and he's got time. He's about 13 yards deep, steps up. Dupree's open over the middle. First down, Cowboys. That's exactly the way you draw it up on the board.
Drew Pearson goes out to a wide left. Golden Richards double on the same side. Newhouse and Dorsett are the tailbacks. Dorsett into the tailback. Dorsett. To the 20-yard line. First and 10.
That is why he's one of the highest paid rookies in history. 17 yards. Watch this. He shows you a little maneuverability this time, Lindsey. Right here, he ducks underneath the tackler, and then he finds his hole. He outruns Dick Giron right there, cuts to the outside, and almost broke it. Ed O'Neill on the stop.
Spotted on the 21-yard line.
They're going to get him some yards here in the second half.
Newhouse. Filed up short of the 20.
Third period score, Los Angeles and New Orleans. And New Orleans is, boy, that's a seesaw battle, Lindsey. The Saints fighting back at home, 24-20.
And about a foot or two on it last play. Larry Hand. Ernie Price on the tackle. Newhouse and Dorsett. Golden Richards in motion across. Staubach to Dorsett. To the 18-yard line. Laslovic made the tackle.
Well, they're methodical, aren't they, Lindsey? Just boom. Don't make too many mistakes.
A precision football team, the Dallas Cowboys. Third down and 7 yards to go. They have it at the 18-yard line of the Detroit Lions. Dupree and Drew Pearson are out to the left side. Rich Johnson to the right side. Shotgun with Staubach deep. Staubach. Dorsett at the 10-yard line. Wants to take a long look at the first down yards. He may have made it by about 6 inches.
There it comes. Tony Dorsett. Good pass by Staubach. He's picking them apart. 14 out of 23 now. Complete. First down. That's Lem Barney right there, number 20. Final, the Cincinnati Bengals win their third game of the year over the Oilers, 13-10.
Ball is spotted squarely on the 10, which makes it first down and goal to go at the 10-yard line. Reverse. Dupree. Tight end reverse. Paul Newmouth was there, and he stopped outside the 10.
Ed O'Neill had his big right paw out there. Almost was a face guarding penalty. Face mask.
Spotted at the 11, where it is second down and goal to go. That is, of course, Tom Landry on the phone. Jim Myers, the assistant head coach. Sally's in there as the praise come out. Dorsett. To the 2-yard line.
Oh, a 9-yard blast right off the right side, and you can see the quickness. He explodes past the line of scrimmage. He got a pretty good block by Newhouse. He cut to the inside. Reggie Pinckney on the stop.
It'll be third down and goal to go just outside the 1-yard line now. Dallas Cowboys are leading 23-0. We have 5 minutes, 15 seconds left to play in the third quarter, and the Cowboys are driving.
It's getting to be a habit today.
Dorsett and Newhouse. Staubach rolls and puts it up. Soldy has it for the touchdown. Jay Soldy took it for the touchdown, and he spikes it.
All right, his first touchdown. Jay Soldy wide open. Oh, and Staubach, as I said, he'll pick you apart.
Detroit was offsides on the play. It has, of course, been declined, and the touchdown stands.
Offensively and defensively. No mistakes today. A little fake to Newhouse over the middle. Staubach just lobbed a little basketball pass. Touchdown.
Conversion attempt coming now, and Charlie Waters is in the hole for Efren Herrera. Waters puts it down. Herrera boots it up, and it's good. So the Dallas Cowboys have taken a 30-0 lead over the Detroit Lions. 4 minutes, 54 seconds remaining to be played in the third quarter.
Turn around, talk a little about defense.
Efren Herrera will kick off now for the Detroit Lions. That drive was 80 yards in 16 plays, and they kept the ball 10 minutes, 6 seconds. Rick Kane is center deep to receive the kickoff. Kane moves over. Kane at the 10-yard line. He's at the 15, at the 20, Kane at the 25, and he was upended. Jay Soldy made the tackle.
The guy sitting next to me is probably one of the greatest defensive tackles ever to play the game. Honored here again this afternoon, Bob Lilly. Bob, it looks as if the Dallas Cowboys are, well, the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, they sure are. They're a year ahead of last year, of course, with their experience and, of course, the talent, I think, is beginning to show itself. They're really probably, in my opinion, the class of the NFC, and, you know, I think they lack a little bit of adhesion, or cohesion, I should say. They're good individually, but not a real good team yet, but their talent is so thick, and they've got so much depth that it's pretty hard to beat them.
You're trying to tell me they're all right. They're going to make it, aren't they?
I think they're going to make it all right.
You look pretty good. It looks like you ever have any twinges about being back down there?
No, I was just glad I didn't have to hit the ground.
Maybe if you had a Black & Decker, you could go down there and play with the boys.
Well, thank you, Bill.
Let's take a look here. We've got an injury on the field. Who is that, Lynn?
That's Jay Soldy, who made the tackle on the last play. Just stunned a little. He's apparently all right. Jay Soldy made the tackle. Rick Kane, who stumbled up to the 29-yard line. So they'll start at first and 10 at the 29.
You know, Bob, there's always a worry, and of course, when you win them all, there's no question about you playing great football, but a lot of people say maybe a team reaches its peak a little bit too early. Now, they've said that about Dallas. They got off, they won 9 out of their first 10 last year, and then we're a little bit flat in the playoffs. You think this could happen here?
Well, I don't think so, Paul, because they're so talented individually, and they're now moving the players into the positions that they didn't do last year, and I think that they're going to just become better this year.
Greg Landry, the quarterback, they came out in an I formation. Dexter Bussey on the tailback moved it for 1 yard to the 30-yard line. First time they've used the I formation today. They started out with a single setback, opened up the game with a slot left and a wing back, and They've come out in an I formation here in the third quarter with Landry back at quarterback. He was relieved by Joe Reed in the first half.
Well, they're trying to get somebody to move this football team, Lindsey. And when you're going bad, you've got to, shift it around, try to get somebody in there to give them a little spark. Of course, that Dallas defense has a little to say about that.
Bussey and King are the setbacks for Landry. Bussey at the 35-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 4. It was Randy Hughes up to make the stop.
We don't call, there again, there's an example, I think, of the Cowboy depth. Randy Hughes is playing behind Cliff Harris and Charlie Waters. I think, obviously, he could probably make any other National Football League or American Football League team, but just a super
great. One of the coaches last year told me, I'm not going to mention his name, but they said Randy Hughes is probably the best athlete on this team.
Well, I've heard that, but I mean, they've got so many good ones that it'd be hard to say that.
Greg Landry rolling. And it's incomplete.
Thomas Henderson on the pressure from the offside just made Landry worry. Look, he pats him on the head. Nothing you can do about it, pal. I tell you, this defense, I had to play against this guy sitting next to me. And he was quick. And this Randy White plays a lot like you, Bob. He's so quick, and he gets penetration.
Well, I think that's a key. Anytime a defensive lineman can tie up two people, and really they've got two of them, Harvey Martin and Randy White both can tie up two people, and then do that continually. You're noticing that the quarterback's beginning to shift to his right, and I think Ed Jones will come into his own because this is forcing the quarterback over there. You don't have to have the big arc.
Wilbur Summers punted the ball out of bounds at the 25, and so the Detroit Lions give up the football. Dallas will start 1st and 10 at their own 25 on a 40-yard punt. Penalty marker on the play. So a little official administration to be taken care of here. Dallas is being consulted, so they're going to bring it back. Report from the Cowboy locker room is that Herbert Scott has a bruised thigh and will not return this afternoon. The Cowboys are leading by a score of 30-0.
We'll probably see, Lindsey, Burton Lawless, a 3-year veteran from Florida. He's the backup guard, and he'll move in there.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 42 offense. 4th down.
It's a violation of the kick coverage rule. Reggie Pinckney was downfield. Only the 2 outside men can go before the ball is booted, so they'll kick it all over again. Wilbur Summers is back. Butch Johnson is deep to field the punt for the Dallas Cowboys. Summers puts it up. Again toward the sideline. Fair catch signal goes up, but there'll be no run back. It's out of bounds. It is being lined up at the 37-yard line. So the Dallas Cowboys will start not at their 25 where it was before, but at the 37, 1st and 10. Dallas Cowboys have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line. Danny White is in there at quarterback now. Roger Staubach's being given a rest, and White is in at quarterback. White with a handoff to Laidlaw, and Scott Laidlaw moves it to the 38-yard line.
Well, Dallas going to some of their backup men now. Of course, 30-0 lead. Want to give everybody a little playing time. Doug Dennison also in there at one running back.
Danny White, of course, played his college football at Arizona State. Is the regular punter for the Dallas Cowboys and the backup to Roger Staubach. 2nd down and 9 yards to go at the 38 for the Cowboys. Doug Dennison's in there with Scott Laidlaw at the running backs. This is Dennison carrying. He gets across to the 42. This is part of the depth that Bob Lilly was talking about. Dallas Cowboys have a wealth of fine performers, and they don't often get to Dennison, who is considered a fine running back.
The final, the Redskins over the Eagles, and the Eagles seem to come up 6 points short every week, 23-17. That about sure is halfway through here, Bob. The Cowboys are going to clinch the division earlier than maybe anybody.
Paul, that's not always good, as you well know. I think a lot of times, the 2 years that we did go to the Super Bowl, when I was there, we had our backs to the wall by mid-season, and, of course, I think that made us concentrate a lot more.
Danny White dropping back on a 3rd and 4. Bill Pearson could not hold on, and neither could Hunter. James Hunter, the cornerback, almost had the interception, so it's an incompletion.
They're almost thinking 6 here. Here comes the Detroit blitz, and look at Dallas pick it up. Wide over the middle, right there, right through his hands. He should have had that one. And Hunter should have had it also.
So nobody had it, and it's punt formation. Danny White's back to do the punting. Payton has dropped back with Giron to field the punt for Detroit. Over to Giron's side of the field. Fair catch signal. He makes it at the 15. They'll start 1st and 10. The Lions will at their own 15-yard line on a 43-yard punt. We have 1 minute 37 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Cowboys are leading by a score of 30-0. We have a report now from the Dallas locker room that Roger Staubach has muscle spasms in his thigh and probably will not return. Detroit has the ball 1st and 10 at their own 15-yard line. Landry. And it is incomplete. Charlie Sanders sort of popped it up into the air and then got popped. Charlie Waters covering defensively.
And he's asking for a little call there. Actually, it was a good play by Waters. He just stripped him.
To this point, Dallas has had the ball for 63 plays and Detroit for 29 plays.
And, pal, you can't win that way. 2 first downs for Detroit all day long. They haven't had a first down here in the second half with a minute 31 to go in the third.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. Greg Landry goes the screen left. After the 16-yard line, Horace King picked up 1 yard on the screen.
Bob, there's one of your old teammates, number 75, Jethro Pugh, who you played alongside for a lot of years, making good reaction on that play.
Yeah, Jethro had a great play, and, of course, he has been a fantastic player all through the years. Of course, here he comes. We see him coming across the screen, and see Landry rolling out to his right, to his left. Harvey puts the pressure on him, actually, and Jethro's coming across the line pursuing. Jethro's always an excellent person at pursuing. You know, Paul, there's one interesting thing that we might go into after this next play about how the Cowboys rate opposing quarterbacks.
All right. 3rd and 9, and Greg Landry is back. Takes a look, goes long up the middle. J.D. Hill trying to get to it. It's incomplete.
Bump back Cliff Harris right there on the coverage. How do they rate the quarterbacks? What are you talking about, Bob?
Well, I don't know exactly the rating system they use, but they do grade them from 100 down. And they grade them on a yearly basis and an individual game basis. Roger right now is grading out around 92%. Mm-hmm. Greg Landry, believe it or not, coming into this game by the Cowboy system, had graded up to about 91%.
Right. And that's how they rank in the league also, 1 and 2.
The last 4 games the Cowboys have played, not including this one, the opposing quarterback has come out of the game at under 25%. So that's how effective the Cowboy defense has been.
It sure has.
Wilbur Summers in deep punt formation, and Butch Johnston is back. He rolled it back there. And fair catch signal went up so that it's off when the ball hit the ground. It's going to start 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line, the Cowboys.
Well, Bob, we want to thank you very much for stopping by, and good to see you. And
Paul, it's good to see you.
I know you're doing well making all that money in the beer business.
It's much better to see you in your suit than in your uniform. Lindsay, I enjoyed it.
Fine, Bob. We have 30 seconds remaining to be played in the third quarter. The Dallas Cowboys 30, the Detroit Lions nothing. Cowboys held the ball at midfield, 1st and 10 at their own 49. They've got Danny White in at quarterback. Doug Dennison and Scott Laidlaw are the running backs in there for the Cowboys. Laidlaw loosened up right. Dennison. Cross to the 49 for 2. John Woodcock made the tackle. Clock is running. 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Billy Joe Dupree limping back now and heading for the sidelines.
Well, I don't know if we're going to see Tony Dorsett anymore this afternoon, but he really picked up here in the second half. Totals 13 rushes, 50 yards, and he's caught 5 passes for 48 yards.
They won't get it off before the end of the quarter because this is the end of the quarter. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. Cowboys 30, the Lions nothing. We now pause for a word from your local station. As we start the fourth quarter here at Texas Stadium, this is Lindsey Nelson with Paul Hornung. Joe Reed got in for some quarterback action during the first half of the Detroit Lions.
You're looking at a loser's bench right there. You can always tell it. Somber, quiet. Just got to forget about this one, Lindsey, and go on to the next one.
Second out and 8 yards to go for the Cowboys. They have the ball at the Lions' 49-yard line. Drew Pearson far to the left side for quarterback Danny White. Quick pitch to Dennison. Doug Dennison. Well, he jukes a little and goes to the 40, 35, and a first and 10 at the 32-yard line.
I tell you, that's just outstanding blocking around the left side. They got Andy Frederick in there now at right tackle. Now watch this. Drew Pearson gets a standoff. That's Laidlaw out in front, and Dennison cuts right there. Nobody's there. 17-yard pickup. Walt Williams on the bottom.
So the Cowboys, leading 30-0, are driving once again at the 32-yard line of the Detroit Lions. Dennison, the tailback. Dennison. Inside the 25 to the 24-yard line.
Swamp them. There it is again. Good blocking up front. Just straight ahead blocking. Good block by the fullback. Dennison comes back to the inside.
Second down and 2 yards to go. Ball at the 24-yard line.
Look at this. 17 first downs for the Cowboys. Detroit 2. 121 yards rushing right now for the Cowboys. Detroit 30. 179 yards passing. Detroit 14. 44 total yards for Detroit.
Scott Laidlaw looking for the first down.
Boy, they got a seesaw battle. The Rams back out in front, fourth quarter. Still some time left. By 2.
The 6:24 in the fourth quarter. Got a measure for the possible first down. We've had a misting rain from time to time, and you see the foul weather gear that was brought out. First and 10 for the Dallas Cowboys.
Over 300 yards in offense today for the Cowboys. Cleveland swamping the Chiefs 44-7.
Forrest Gregg, head coach of the Clevelands.
Who's he?
Played his college football in Dallas and SMU. And played with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I think he did.
First and 10 at the 22.
They're great.
Doug Dennison to the 19-yard line. John Woodcock made the stop. Gain of 3, second and 7.
Landry getting a look at everybody today. Here comes the play in. It's Butch Johnson bringing the play in for Danny White.
We're in the fourth quarter with 12 minutes 40 seconds left to play in the game. Danny White quarterbacking. Try draw play. Laidlaw. But the Detroit Lion defense pulled him down. Jim Mitchell on the stop. Recently reactivated.
First period out on the coast. Seattle 7, Buffalo 3.
Third down and 11 yards to go for the Cowboys. That's Laslovic coming in as a linebacker. Dorsett has come in for Dallas Cowboys, and Danny White wants a timeout. Quarterback Danny White calls a Dallas timeout and heads for the sideline for a conference with the Board of Strategy, headed by Coach Tom Landry.
You know, Drew Pearson has only caught one pass today, good for 26 yards, but he's dropped a couple, and he had one, of course, they had a touchdown called back. A good catch in the end zone. That was called back. And there's Tom Landry talking to Danny White. Good punter, good athlete.
Coach Landry made a halftime appearance in connection with the ceremony inducting Chuck Howley into the Hall of Honor. And for that, he donned a jacket and the hat he's normally seen wearing, but he's back to the foul weather gear along the sideline. Yeah, many things along the sideline here in Dallas, Texas.
Go on.
Cowboys third down, 11 yards to go outside the 22-yard line of the Detroit Lions. 11 minutes, 49 seconds left to play in the game. Danny White, the quarterback. Laidlaw and Dorsett are the running backs. Dorsett in motion outside right. Danny White. Salty, and it is intercepted in the end zone by Hunter, and he's out to the 5. Stopped out about the 7 or 8. Could have kept it in there, of course, and had it brought out to the 20.
James Hunter coming up with the second interception. Trying to hit the big tight end, Jay Salty, down the middle. He's tipped, and a good interception by James Hunter. He tries to run it out. He gets it out to the 7-yard line, so it'll be Lion football when we come back.
On James Hunter's interception, the Detroit Lions on the ball first and 10 at their own 7-yard line. King and Bussey are the setbacks for Greg Landry. Landry, short drop. Does it to Horace King coming out of the backfield, and he got about 2 yards up to the 9. Henderson made the stop.
Thomas Henderson right on the spot. Oh, the big game. Oakland trying to avenge their only defeat. Undefeated Denver. They trail first quarter. Raiders 7, Denver nothing.
Luther Blue has come into the ball game, and Ray Jarvis has come out as a wide receiver for the Lions. Second down play. Landry again. Throws to Dexter Bussey this time. Oh, he is popped at the 5-yard line for a loss of 4 on the completed pass. Larry Cole, Tom Henderson got there.
Randy White. Bussey's hurt. Oh, I tell you. Great reaction. The defense, boy, they can play so loose, Lindsey. You got a 30-0, a big lead. They're just out there, just having a good time now.
Dexter Bussey. He's had ankle trouble.
He's wearing high tops today, trying to protect it a little bit. Looked as if they almost ripped it off there.
Play is resumed. It'll be third down and 12 yards to go. Ball is spotted outside the 5-yard line. Bussey is being carried off. Third down and 12 for the Lions at the 6-yard line. Landry, bottom of the stack.
Gregory, right on top. Oh, wow. I tell you.
Wilbur Summers is coming on. He may have been the busiest of the Lions here today. He is the punter. The hand is for the Cowboys defense.
Magnificent today. And Dallas offense, of course, very inept.
Butch Johnson is deep to receive the punt. They have to sprint to get to it, and he does at the 33, he's at the 25, and stops at the 23-yard line. First and 10 at the 23 on a 28-yard punt by Wilbur Summers. He's had 9 punts today. Danny White to Larry Brunson. Brunson moves it across field. Stopped at the 20-yard line. Reggie Pinckney Coming over on the tackle, again a 3 yards on the play, makes it 2nd down and 7 yards to go for the Cowboys at the Lions' 20-yard line. Misting rain falling here at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. With the Cowboys out front over the Lions by a score of 30-0. We have 9 minutes, 15 seconds left to play in this game. Tony Hill is in a wide receiver right. Brinson and Doug Dennison are the setbacks. That's Brinson. Brinson to the 15, Brinson to the 10, to the 5. And he is in there for a touchdown. Brinson in at the flag, a 20-yard run for a touchdown.
The rookie out of Florida, 6 foot, 214 pounds. And the depth. Watch the blocking on the left side. Tackle blocks down. And a good block by the back. I think it was Doug Dennison. And then Larry Brinson does the rest. He gets close to the end zone. He straight arms Dick Geron, and he got inside for the score. Complete wipeout by the Cowboys today over the Lions.
It's a happy young lady. One of the Cowboy cheerleaders. Charlie Waters is in the hole for Efren Herrera. Waters puts it down. Herrera boots it up, and it's good. It is now the Dallas Cowboys 37, the Detroit Lions nothing. We have 8 minutes, 59 seconds left to play in this game before a sellout crowd at Texas Stadium. Efren Herrera will kick off from the 35-yard line with 8 minutes, 59 seconds left to play. Rick Kane is deep to receive it for the Detroit Lions.
I think he's getting tired running back kickoffs. Two guys been the most active is Rick Kane returning kickoffs and Wilbur Summers on the punts.
Dallas, of course, is leading by a score of 37-0. Chuck Heberling, the referee, with the whistle that will start Herrera off. Rick Kane at the goal line. He's out to the 5, to the 10. Rick Kane to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, and he gets across to the 26-yard line. Consult your local listing for the game to be seen in your area. Marv Hubbard and Rick Kane are the running backs, and Joe Reed is the quarterback in there now for the Detroit Lions. Joe Reed dropping back. Incomplete. Out to Marv Hubbard, over the head of Marv Hubbard, as a matter of fact.
Didn't fool anybody. Had a screen on. The whole Cowboy defense was right there. Look at Harvey Martin. There's the tackle and the defensive end out there covering the screen. Baltimore over Pittsburgh, 10-0, second quarter. Boy, Baltimore coming back after that defeat last week.
Percentage of pass completions today for Greg Landry, 28.5. For Joe Reed, 16.6. It has not been a good day. Dallas is number one, say the Cowboy fans. And they are well on their way to being still the only undefeated team in the National Football Conference.
And Staubach, 16 for 25 today, 178 yards, 3 touchdowns. What a day.
Whistles and a delay. Delay of game will cost them 5.
Maybe I could go down and interview the cheerleaders for Dallas the rest of this ball game.
You volunteer, do you?
Huh?
You volunteer, do you?
No, producer don't say anything. I guess I'll stay right here with you, Lynn.
Back to the 21-yard line.
Delay of the game. Offense. First down. Second down.
Second down and 15. Back at the 21. Last time Dallas had a shutout in the regular season was the 11th game of the 1974 season when Dallas shut out Houston 10-0. They have a shutout going here 37-0. Detroit, of course, hopeful of still getting something on the scoreboard. Reed. Thompson. Incomplete. That was Vinnie Barnes back there covering 31. It'll be 3rd and 15 at the 21. The last time that Detroit was shut out was on November 27, 1975. The Rams shut out the Lions 20-0. Dallas did shut out Detroit once before. It was in the 1970 playoffs. It was played in the Cotton Bowl Stadium. The score was Dallas 5, Detroit 0.
And Seattle, 11-point lead, first quarter score. Seahawks 14, Buffalo 3.
3rd down and 15 yards to go. Hubbard and Kane are the setbacks. Joe Reed. Pumps it, and it is complete to Kane. Rick Kane up the sideline across the 40-yard line.
And that is the first down. The second half with 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the fourth quarter for Detroit. And a little stun on. Detroit picks it up this time. Rick Kane on the square out right there. That's Mel Renfro diving, and he gets knocked out of bounds. Harris knocks him out. First down, Detroit.
At the 41, they picked up 20 yards on the pass play. Still Kane and Hubbard. J.D. Hill in a wide set right. Reed. And it's Hill. J.D. Hill at the 48-yard line. And a 7 will make it second down and 3.
This is what you call a popcorn game, Lindsey. Just sit back. If you're a Cowboy fan, eat the popcorn. Don't even worry. Oh, they came out. Opening kickoff. Drove right down, got a field goal. It was over right there.
Detroit Lions second down, 3 yards to go. Reed on a draw play. Hubbard sprints up for the 1st and 10 as they get it over in Cowboy territory before Bill Gregory makes the stop. It's at the 47-yard line. Dallas Cowboys came in with a record of 6-0. It seems safe to assume they're going to leave the field 7-0.
Now, don't go out on a limb.
And coming up the rest of the season, they'll be playing the New York Giants, the St. Louis Cardinals, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Washington Redskins, the Philadelphia Eagles, the San Francisco 49ers, and finish with the Denver Broncos.
14-0 maybe?
Broncos don't think so. Luther Blue.
Oh, Blue. 3 straight pass completions now for Joe Reed. Luther Blue at top of your screen. Little turnout pattern up there. Good timing on this. Number 41, Charlie Waters comes over and pushes him out of bounds.
Second down and a yard to go.
Oh, the Packers got shut out themselves. 26-0. Walter Payton, I bet, had a big day. I know he scored at least one in the first half.
It's a bad day for Bart Starr. Wow. Second down and a yard to go.
We'll see him next week in Kansas City.
Reed now looking for the first down. Wants to turn a corner. Hits the deck when he got it. 1st and 10.
First down, Al.
Vinnie Barnes up to make the stop. It's at the 34-yard line.
You know, the defense is playing, and their thought right now, Lindsey, even though it's game's completely out of control, 37-0, that defense out there you're looking at is thinking shutout. They love to have a shutout.
We have 6.5 minutes left to play in the game. Cowboys 37 and the Lions nothing. 1st and 10 Lions at the Cowboy 34. Hubbard and Kane are the setbacks for Reed. Reed. White. It is Randy White. At the 36 for a loss of 2, 2nd and 12.
Cat-like quickness of Randy White. There he is. He comes inside of the block. Now he goes down, and watch him right back up on his feet. And Reed's in trouble.
The Dallas defense, you saw Barnes walking right into the camera. Vinnie Barnes, 6-year veteran from Stanford. Second down and 12 yards to go. Joe Reed. Blitz. Larry Cole, number 63, had him in his grasp, and Gregory was there in a hurry. 77.
Larry Cole. Now watch the blitz on the inside. There's your tackle going back, trying to block on Larry Cole. He gets him to the outside. That's Yarbrough, but he stops, comes back to the inside for the sack.
Third down and 20 yards to go. The ball is moved back now, just inside the 45. Kane and Hubbard are still the setbacks for quarterback Joe Reed from Mississippi State.
Walter Payton scored twice today for the Bears.
Over the middle. Kane has it. Rick Kane to the 35-yard line. It'll be about 4th and 10. Thomas Henderson made a stop.
Little delay. Both backs split. See them delay, and then they go out of the backfield in a little shoot pattern. Complete over the middle. Rick Kane. He got the 11 yards back.
Well, when you're shut out with 5 minutes left to play in the game and you have a 4th and 10 coming up and you have the ball at the opponent's 35, you call a timeout.
Yeah. Drop kick it.
So, Joe Reed's coming over for a word with the Detroit Lion Board of Strategy headed by head coach Tommy Hudspeth.
Can't tell him too much now, can he, Lance?
Not much. I've heard quarterbacks say that there were times in the career of Lombardi when if you came over in a situation that was somewhat difficult, which you'd gotten into yourself, he might say to you, you got into it,
yeah.
you get out of it.
You're on your own, baby.
Detroit's going for it, 4th and 10 at the 35 with 5 minutes left to play. Cowboys leading 37-0. Kane and Hubbard the setbacks for Reed. Reed rolls and Martin's got it. Harvey Martin from the blind side. Harvey Martin.
Here comes Harvey, I'll tell you. He got Martinized, didn't he, Lindsay? Got pressed right to the ground.
Did all of that. The ball goes over on downs at the 42.
Well, you try to run away from Harvey Martin. Look, nobody's even touches him on the left side. And poor Reed, you didn't even see him. Harvey Martin, his 11th sack of the season. And Cowboys have it. He's running out.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. White pitching to Dennison, and Dennison breaks tackles up to midfield at the 50-yard line.
Hey, he looks good. He's running hard.
Pinckney made the stop. Look at this. New Orleans gone ahead again, 27-26 in the 4th quarter.
I think Atlanta's happy to see that right now, but hold on. You never know. Well, let's see how much time. 3 minutes and 43 seconds to go.
2nd down and 2 yards to go here for the Cowboys as they have the ball at the 50.
Hawkins has lost his voice over in New Orleans, I'll tell you that. Lost his money last night and his voice today.
Danny White can't get away from Larry Hand. It's going to be marked at the 39-yard line for a loss of 11, which will make it 3rd and 13. Four minutes left to play in the game. Dorsett has come back in there to running back. Butch Johnson has come in at a wide receiver for the Cowboys. Being quarterback by Danny White. Tony Hill's a wide receiver to the right side. Brinson and Dorsett are the running backs. Dorsett, the shotgun, he took the handoff from Danny White. Dropped to 37 for a loss of 2, making it 4th and 15. So the punting unit comes on now for the Dallas Cowboys. Danny White stays in to do the punting. Tony Dorsett's rushed 13 times for 50 yards today. Eddie Payton has dropped back to field the punt. Three minutes left to play in the game. Eddie Payton's waiting. At his 18, he's at the 20, he's at the 25. And they will start 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. A 54-yard punt by Danny White. 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Reed. Trying to get it to Ray Jarvis, but it's 2nd and 10 at the 26-yard line. The incompletion stopped the clock. 2:46. Look at this one.
Oakland, a field goal. They've got a 21-yard pass Stabler to Branch in there. And a field goal by Earl Mann. Oakland 10-0 over Denver, second period. Landry today has not had one of his best days. There's Roger on the sidelines. He had muscle spasms in his leg, but he looks all right. He'll be ready next week.
He looks happy.
Landry, 4 out of 13. Listen to this. 4 out of 14, Lance, for 3 yards passing.
Joe Reed. Incomplete. An incompletion. J.D. Hill had it on his fingertips, covered by Washington, Mark Washington. 3rd and 10 at the 26.
Reed is 5 out of 13 for 58.
Tom Landry, the only head coach that these Dallas Cowboys have ever had. One of the legendary figures in the game of football. He's smiling. Better put that one on a disc and save it. Tom Landry doesn't smile all that much along the sidelines.
He's got a lot to smile about with this young football team. They come at you on defense and methodically will pick you apart on offense.
3rd down and 10 yards to go for the Detroit Lions. Kane is carrying, Rick Kane. He went out at the 35. Randy Hughes ran him out. It's going to be a yard short of a first down. 4th and 1. 2 minutes, 35 seconds left to play in the game. The Cowboys are leading 37-0.
They're counting down to that 2-minute warning.
Clock will start on the snap. 2:35 showing. On 4th down and a yard to go, trailing by 37 points. They're going for it here in their own territory. Hubbard and Kane are the setbacks. Hubbard, the lone setback there. Hubbard's got it. He's got the first down.
And then some.
Struggles out to the 49-yard line with Bob Bruning hanging on, number 53.
Off the left side, Marv Hubbard. It's going to be a first down. He needs short yardage. Hubbard just bulls his way. Bob Bruning finally lassos him down.
He's carried the ball a few times in his career on short yardage situations. 1st and 10 for the Detroit Lions. 2 minutes. There's the warning. 2 minutes left to play in this game at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, with the Dallas Cowboys leading the Detroit Lions by a score of 37-0. On 49-yard line. Joe Reed is the quarterback. Rick Kane and Marv Hubbard are the setbacks for Tommy Hudspeth's Detroit Lions. Hubbard, even up. Joe Reed rolling. Diving catch. J.D. Hill, 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, here in the 4th quarter, they have thrown the football. There's a little welcome home, Dexter. Of course, he played his college football at the University of Texas at Arlington. You know, Lindsay, I spent a real great week out in Phoenix. Played a little golf and met with the Fiesta Bowl people. Lindsay and I did the Fiesta Bowl, and that'll be on Christmas Day right here on CBS. And then, of course, comes the Cotton Bowl, and my man sitting to my left only worked 17 straight Cotton Bowls. I hope I'm there with you again this year.
I spent a lot of great New Year's Eve in Big D. 1st and 10 at the 38. Well, Joe Reed got back there, but there was a fellow named Harvey Martin who got there before he did.
2 more sacks today for Martin.
Well, our producer is Rapid Robert Rowe here in Irving, Texas. James Silman, a native of Texas, and our director.
Keep up with James, you need a train.
Lee Webb is the associate producer. Buck Talley, field operations engineer. Royce Jones, the technical director. Chester Greach on audio. That's why you sound so good.
I hope so.
1st and 10. I beg your pardon. 2nd and 20. Reed on a draw play to Hubbard, and Hubbard moves it to the 41-yard line.
Mike Hickman on the stop. Got a few back, not much, about 5.
And now a timeout for the Detroit Lions. It'll be 3rd and 12 when play is resumed as they have the ball at the 41-yard line of the Cowboys. 50 seconds left to play in the game. Cowboys 37 and the Detroit Lions nothing. Lions with the football, and it's Rick Cahan on the handoff. Moves to the 33-yard line. Cliff Harris up on the tackle. Clock is running with 36 seconds left to play in the game, and the Detroit Lions take their final timeout. That's the last one they have, and they take it right now. So we have 36 seconds left to play in the game. The Cowboys are leading 37-0. And when play is resumed, it'll be 4th down and 5 yards to go for the Lions as they have the ball at the 33-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys.
And when play resumes next Sunday, Lindsay, it's possible, very possible, that the team you're watching right here, the Dallas Cowboys, will be the only undefeated team in professional football. Denver is trailing Oakland 10-0 second quarter. And it looks as if they've got their conference in the East wrapped up in the NFC.
Referee Chuck Heberling says he's ready. Cowboys are ready. Lions are ready. Joe Reed's ready. Greg Landry's been ready for some time.
Well, you need time to throw the football, folks. Simple as that. And again, the great rush by that Dallas defense.
We're having a shake-well alignment here. Clock will start when the ball is snapped to Reed. 4th down and 5 yards to go. Reed retreats. Up the middle. And it is incomplete, and the ball goes over. So the Dallas Cowboys get the football. J.D. Hill was the intended receiver up the middle. Benny Barnes was covering. The incompletion stopped the clock, 31 seconds.
And they'll get a shutout.
Dallas Cowboys will get a shutout here this afternoon. Their last shutout in a regular season game was 10-0 over Houston, the 11th game of the 1974 season. Danny White brings them slowly up. The clock doesn't start until the ball is snapped. Brenson and Dennison are the setbacks. Danny White retreats and hits the deck. Now they can't stop that clock. Detroit Lions can't, and it's running. So I should imagine they'll just let it run. They've got time on their hands. 18 seconds.
Time on my hands.
Never knew you could sing after all these years. 11 seconds, 10 seconds. They'll let the clock run out. Because the Lions have used all their times out. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Game is over as Tom Landry looks out onto the field.
The best start in Dallas history. 7-0 at the halfway point.
Well, Paul Hornung, for the Dallas Cowboys, it was a day in which they achieved a shutout, and they are now off to the finest start they have ever had in any season since they were formed. For the Detroit Lions, a day of considerable frustration.
It sure was. Detroit did not do anything right. They kept their road mark intact for the year, 0-4 on the road. And for Dallas, they just did everything right. They moved the ball offensively. They were vicious on defense. And now the only thing they've got to worry about, they've got a 3-game lead in their division. They cannot get complacent. They got to go up to New York tomorrow and come out and just go do their thing. That's all.
And we've been watching other games around the conference, of course. But whatever happened down there in New Orleans?
Would you believe the New Orleans Saints, a 1-point victory, 27. Los Angeles Rams, 26.
Is that final?
That's a final.
Well, here the final score, of course, was 37-0. The Dallas Cowboys are 7-0. This is Lindsey Nelson with Paul Hornung at Texas Stadium. The NFL Today is a presentation of CBS Sports.